Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of September 20th, 2019. It's another early one. I really need to, catch up on why exactly this is happening, because I don't remember 2 in a row being a thing last year, right? Huh. Anyways, on the cover, we've got Kimetsu no Yaiba, we've got Tanjiro looking cool, a character I don't recognize, which means he's most likely not from the first season. But yeah. Also, if he is, I was thinking maybe he might be someone from the mountain, but apart from that, we haven't had a ton of other random incidental characters that I would just forget. Anyways, we don't have a whole lot on the docket today, too. So if you're looking for a wrong list. If you're looking for a very short reaction, I guess this is gonna be it. All the pre-recordeds are here, but we have only 4 things for the live stream. Anyways, let's jump right into Actage, Chapter 82. Okay, Scene 82, Confession. So, what would the confession be? It's opening night. Oh, right. Okay, so, last chapter, we had the director lady, whose name I don't remember, who mentioned that she had, a secret plan, a secret thing she was going to do to, really put Yanagi in the mood. And my theory back then, I think, was that she'd invited her father on stage, or not on stage, in the crowd, because, there's going to be a massive crowd. So my theory was she would confess and say, I've been in contact with your father this whole time, and I gave him tickets to come see you. And then, Yanagi will look out into the crowd and see her father, and then from there, she'll be, she'll inhabit the spirit of Princess Ironfan, but, her hatred will be directed at the audience, towards her father. That was my theory. Ever since, I said that, I don't really have any other theories, so... And also, confession feels weird, because usually when I see the word confession in manga, I think of it as, a love confession. Which could also be a thing, but, we haven't really had that played up at all with anyone. So, we'll see. Okay, the play opens with side A. So, I was saying this before that I didn't fully get it, but it seems like they are doing, it is basically 2 productions, but it's one after the other. Or, if you get a ticket, you don't go to see both of them. You see one of them, and they alternate. That's what I think at the very least. Now that I'm thinking about it, it could also be maybe that, the first half is done with one cast and the second half is done with another cast. Because, with the promotion, it would feel real weird if you went and just saw one of them and then you're like, oh, well, I guess this is a trick to get me to pay again to go see the other one. Yeah, I'm still pretty weirded out by it. Why are you the one who's nervous? But, I mean, I do love her empathy. Ever since we broke through her shell, I really do appreciate that she cares that much about Kay now. That, she's the one getting nervous in the crowd. Also, I do know what this is, actually. I believe it's where you write, you trace the character for stress on your hand, and then you eat it. I didn't realize that was what she was doing, but that makes it make more sense. Oh, live streaming a play. Okay. Okay, so they're right behind all the, the reporters, the people who are actually gonna, write reviews of the play. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with live streaming a play, but I get the idea of, it's been so heavily promoted, and, the way it's being done is so unlike a traditional, performance on stage. Therefore, should it be in the same medium, or, is it something else? Is it some other weird form of promotion? Hina's so expressive, I love it. The hard cut from the cat face to this, this look of disgust. Oh my gosh. But it's Yoshi who's the one who's actually outraged enough to start screaming. But yeah, if you're a professional writing, actual reviews in a paper or something, you should really look into the cast. You can't just say, oh yeah, it's a girl from YouTube. Sure, whatever. Come on. Do a little base research before you watch a performance. Come on. Right on, Yoshioka. That's the good kind of creepy. Oh, and that's such a good cut from from Yanagi's friends to her acting friends, I suppose. Looking over and just making commentary on it. I wonder if we'll do that again. From these to they'll do something weird, and then the cast on stage or behind the curtain will comment on that. It's competition. Who are you rooting for, Araya or Yanagi? Which is also, that's a dynamic we haven't really explored yet. It's been so much, on the various sides. It's the fight between whoever's playing Princess Ironfan and who's playing Sengoku. And, we've had the general Shioko versus Yanagi thing going on between them. But of course, the cast that were with them, the cast that was on Galactic Railroad would see it as Araya versus Yanagi. Even if neither Araya or Yanagi really see it like that. I mean, maybe he does. We've had so little focus on him, though. That's a good line, actually. There are hacks who are commercially successful and skilled professionals who aren't. That goes for productions, too. Like, I know a lot of people do hold by that, the, I guess, philosophy of, if you do work that is successful, then you're good. If you do work that's unsuccessful, you're bad. It doesn't matter, what the quality of it is, or if it, if it's subjectively good or bad. Like, performance should be everything. And I do fundamentally disagree with that. Like, it's a hard thing to disagree against, because performance is such a very clear metric of, this worked, this didn't work. But at the same time, like, there's, especially in theater, there's so much, I don't know how to put it. It's just, there's such a wide range between what people subjectively find good and then what they choose to reward with their word of mouth or their money or their patronage. It can go basically anywhere. Right. And yeah, like, this is definitely going to reinvigorate, the general theater scene in the area, for sure. In this case, whoever produces the best numbers wins. So, okay, so that's actually, like, I wasn't really thinking that the series itself was going to go into that, but yeah. I mean, I guess they were. I guess that's why I started talking about it, yeah. So it does come down to just, who pulls in the most. Like, who gets the good reviews, who makes the most money. Okay. We win if Chiyoko stands out more than Kei on a level playing field. And, what does that specifically entail? Oh, using internet live streaming to measure success. Okay, they did say it was being live streamed, but I wasn't sure if, like, is it I assume it's on a free live stream, right? It's got to be a paid one. But maybe it isn't. Maybe what they're looking for is just views, then. Like, if you want to be there in person, you pay for a ticket, but if not, then you can tune in. Or I guess it could be both, actually. Just, views on paid contents, or on a paid stream. And yeah, like, we haven't really focused on the directors very much at all, but I imagine that's going to be a big part of this. And I am excited to see, like, what props are they using? What costumes are they using? Like, what are the little things being done? Like, how's the blocking different? Because there is a wide amount of variance, it looks like. Like, the script wasn't super tight on how to do what. She's still developing as an actress. She's not consistent yet. Right. Bit of a recap. Yeah, it's also a good statement for, the other side. Like, it shows that he's not being biased. He does accept that she is incredible. Yanagi has a disadvantage. The other director has no experience. But even that, I think, might be good in its own way. Like, he's a fantastic, like, director, especially in the moments. But I think his directing might, like, even if it is super award-winning, I don't think he's done, like, any stage stuff before, right? He's mostly a movie director and, like, a short film director. So, like, he's going to frame things as if it were a movie, treating the audience as, a still camera, and having the characters move around as such. What I'm thinking is that, like, because, the writer of the play is, because she hasn't written a play before, because she's mostly a literary person, she might break the rules of the theater. Like, even if she's read a book or two on how to do it, she might, unintentionally create something that is very, like, maybe upsetting is not the right word, but like something transgressive, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Like, because she doesn't know what she's doing, she inherently does it in a way that most people wouldn't try at all. Oh, it's like Big Sis has gone back in time. Right. Like, they would know more than anyone else. And yeah, like, she has literally been sitting in their house watching movies again. Like, it's exactly the same. Oh, that is a really good power too. Like, the fact that Kei is going first. Therefore, like, Kei's cards are all going to be on the table. Whatever, like, secret trick the director has to make her even more angry, that's probably going to be used up. Like, they can't have her dad, like, in the crowd every single show, right? Or, like, whatever it is they're doing. And then naturally, Chiyoko is going to be way more powerful. And I don't think, like, Kei doesn't hate Chiyoko. So even if Kei's in the crowd watching Chiyoko's performance, she can't, like, feed off of it the way Chiyoko's going to feed off of hers. Ooh, okay. Looking good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of, like, traditional Japanese or Chinese theater, I mean. Like, Journey of the West is Chinese. But they all look pretty cool. I expected Iron Fan to have more of a, like, flame thing going on with her outfits. So I guess that'll be, the Ox King more than her. Oh, was she already tearing up? I mean, to see the characters that you've spent so much time pouring your soul into, like, now alive, doing stuff, that must be really exciting. Even if, they're not her characters, like, they're her interpretation of the characters. I've read lots of books that are, like, here are these public domain characters being used by someone else, and I do think that, if you put enough into a character, if you really flesh them out, they are essentially yours. Even if they share the same name or the same backstory as, a character that has been used in other fiction, like, if you do enough with them, like, I can't imagine you wouldn't have that connection to them eventually. Like, you can only borrow someone for so long until they become yours, just because you've added so much to them. Or I guess, before they've become a version of themselves that is yours. You're up against a famous movie director or top actress, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the confession. Whatever it is, oh boy, let's go right into it. No more speculation. I was seeing your father. And, huh. I mean, that could be a weird translation thing, but we'll keep on going. Yeah, okay, so it is meant to be, they were having an affair. Like, I was dating your father, or I was... boy. Also, it feels weird they're all calling calling him Yanagi's father. Because it seems like they all know who it is. It's just they, even their monologues refuse to use the name. I was with him on the night of your mother's funeral. Yeah, and, I mean, the monologue here, why on earth would she? Like, you could read that as either, like, why would she bring this up now? But I think it might also literally be, like, why would she have been there? Or, like, how is that possible? Because, like, maybe the general public knows something about it. Like, he was in Honolulu or something, and she wasn't. I think the best possible feel would be if this is real, but I don't think it is. I feel like it might just be something she's making up for the sake of this one move. She set a bomb to raise the bar on Princess Ironfan's emotions, and she just dropped it. It's been a while since we've seen Kay looking like this genuinely emotional. I mean, we got some when when she was with Awao as he was dying, as she was, like, taking notes and stuff, but I honestly don't think she was this emotional, during Galactic Railroad. Like, the character she's playing Galactic Railroad was very, solemn, very, like, calm, very much a pretty boy. And even, during the school arc, again, like, she showed her happiness, but even that wasn't that, like, explosive in terms of power. And then, like, the build-up we've had thus far for this arc has been, her trying to be a god, which is inherently not very emotional. So, yeah. And, like, again, like, she set up right before Kay did this. She made sure that Kay was, in fact, being professional, that she was being calm, because that way she knows that Kay won't just, like, shut down or run away or something. Like, she will go out there and she will channel this emotion. God. What a bomb to drop. That is, I mean, yeah. Wow, that's actage. Very uncharacteristically, like, explosive chapter. Especially after all that build-up, too. God, okay, not what I was expecting. Really not. Especially because, like, in the previous chapter, they focused so much on, like, the crowd and whatnot. And at the start of this chapter, they also focused on it, like, that had to have been some sort of, like, psychological priming by the mangaka to make you think, like, yeah, this is definitely what it's going to be. It's going to be something with the crowd, but then, boom, it's not. Wow. Okay, so that's actage. Let's move right on to Black Clover, chapter 221. The Blue Rose's Confession. Okay. So, last chapter, we had a fantastic goof that I really enjoyed. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of of Charlotte not saying things or not doing things. But, it was a really fun, goofy moment. And it seems like we're still focusing on her, and the Blue Rose's confession implies that maybe she's going to just go over and tell Yami, her feelings. Like, it feels like this might actually be an arc as opposed to, like, a one-chapter thing. Okay, so it might not be that she confesses to Yami. I hope that's what it is. But I think it might just be, that she's confessing about this, which also, the Actage chapter is also called Confession, so there's some weird synergy here. I like Yami, so she, we didn't get, the big twist, the big bluff, the sudden swerve at the end. No, she's going for it. I tried to erase these feelings, to forget them, but it was no use. I am hopelessly in love with that man. Ah, but come on. Her brigade isn't that backhanded. They're into it. Good ship. Good ship. They'll be a Beauty and the Beast couple. I mean, they really would be. Like, that's why their contrast works so well. Like, she's so very proper and, like, strong and, like, stand up. Whereas Yami's so, like, gruff. Like, it works so well. Okay, and plus, I've got a boyfriend too. Like, maybe they will loosen up the way they are. Like, not to the point of bringing in guys. Like, I do think if they want to be, the female only brigade, that's perfectly fine. Because, like, why not? Why not have that open? Especially since when when they bring in new members, like, all the brigades can just give them the choice of, like, hey, you can join us if you want to. So there's no reason why they can't just continue to only raise their hands for females. Like there's no problem with that. But like if they can have relationships and stuff, that might loosen them up a bit. That'd be nice. She's so lost. She's so lost, and lost the love of her life. Which that kind of hurts a little bit. That kind of stings, but still, this is fantastic. And yeah, tell him, come on, do it, do it, do it. And now she has the whole brigade. Like now we can do like a We Never Learn thing in which each of the girls in We Never Learn, well, almost all of them, have like a group of people around them, like the main girls especially, in which wherein when they're talking to Iga or something's going wrong, they can head to their small party and they can give them advice. And now Charlotte has that. I love it. Mitsueta. Unbelievable timing, but yeah, just go for it. And now that her brigade knows and they're there, like now she has the extra pressure of, they're going to be disappointed if I don't say anything, which will actually help her quite a bit. Are you Gordon or something? This is there's no way, right? There's no way. I make you uncomfortable, don't I? That doesn't make it okay to run away screaming. You'll wound my sensitive heart, all right? But that said, like, that's also a good way of putting it. Like, yeah, he can read her ki. It's always been like, shaky because that's the way her emotions feel. He wouldn't see that and think it's love. He would see it and think, oh, she's terrified of me or she's worried or something. This is no time for a love confession. I don't think she's uncomfortable around you. Okay. The Blue Rose Captain's ki feels a lot like Noelle. That's actually a really good note. I mean, to be fair, we still don't really understand how ki works / how much you can get from ki. But okay, so what we're saying is that Charlotte has tsundere ki. Which also, this is next level. This is a next level thing for a shonen protagonist to say. Like, yeah, it isn't just like she trusts you. The more she trusts you, the harder it is for her to tell you things straight out. Some people are like that. Like, Asta's really grown a lot as a human being. That feels so weird to say, but it's true. Like, in fights and stuff, he is very much the same most of the time. Like, he has, at his core, he has that same never giving up, the same, wanting to believe in people. Like, that's all still there. But, like, he's become way more mature, and he understands people a lot more. And, like, in hindsight, it makes sense that, of course, he didn't understand people when he was at an orphanage as, the weird kid. Like, of course, sure, fine. But now that he's begun socializing, he's actually started to pick up little things about people. And even Yami can tell, like, oh yeah, isn't that embarrassing? Aren't you just saying that, yeah, but nope. And to be fair, like, yeah, like, Asta's not saying, Noelle loves me, therefore Charlotte loves you. He just recognizes the feel of the energy. Like, that same tsundere energy. Oh god, I love the idea of tsundere ki. Tsundere ki is the greatest concept. I'm gonna write that down, actually. I don't do, like, titles for my reactions, but tsundere ki. I gotta use that somewhere at some point. Seriously, Noelle, she's just not honest about what she feels. Also, now that we know that Sakura is a human being, I like Nero so much more, because now this derp face is not just, a part of, him as an animal, or I guess her as an animal. Like, no, that is Sakura just making that face, which I love. Even if something's embarrassing and hard to say, just act the way you always do. Yeah, getting a little too comfortable there, but still, good advice. Like, legitimately good advice. And Asta did save this entire situation by, breaking up this misunderstanding, or at least, changing it a little bit. But it still comes down to her. Like, she still has to be the one who says, I like you, or I trust you, or whatever it is she's gonna phrase it as. Oh, and yeah, she's actually acknowledging him. Like, it's not like he just broke in and then she was like, alright, well, ignoring him. Like, no. That's great. Okay, why don't we discuss it over dinner? Sure. That's fair. Like this is a weird place to do it. It would have been fine, I think, but at the same time, like looking at it from a realistic perspective, like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, give my first confession in the middle of a crowded area with a ton of people watching. That would feel weird. Its effect was unlike any spell in the kingdom. It was impossible to break. Right. Forbidden magic interferes with the shape of your life and of the world. The curse I activated when I was 18 changed the shape of my soul, the quality of my magic itself. Okay. Like, yeah. Like, her rose magic isn't what her family would have naturally had. She has it because of her curse. I never really considered that, apart from just, like, Black Clover has a lot of things that happen, like, once, and it's just like, okay, that's a thing, I guess. But it seems like now we're starting to tie things together properly. So that's actually really interesting. Like, the shape of your life and of the world is such an interesting way to phrase it. Because it means that, like most magic then wouldn't be able to change the very nature of your magic, or it wouldn't be able to, like, change your body, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, we have some people who are weird, like, shapeshifters and stuff, and even then, like, not really. Like, we don't know if Gray's magic is... No, it isn't. Huh. But, like, her magic is the closest I can think of to someone else who, like, changes the shape of your life and of the world, because, like, she can copy other people's magic and she can copy, like, other people's bodies and stuff. Huh. In all probability, it was a forbidden magic curse that used the power of another world. Right. In that case, in a way, there's a member of your brigade who's been affected more strongly than I have. Okay, so are we going to go with Gray? Because, like, before we move on, who else could it possibly be? Like, Luck and Magna, completely out. No way. Gordon, honestly, Gordon's too creepy to be cursed. Like, it'd be real weird if it turned out that his poison magic wasn't natural, if it was, like, the product of something else. Actually, Henry would be a really good answer. Because his magic is, it's not anti-magic or anything, but it is, like, this weird thing that affects his body, it's killing him. He was from a big royal family, or not like a really big one, but, like, from a noble family. So maybe he was cursed, and then, like, he was meant to just, shrivel up and die, but he was able to survive by, slowly sucking the magic out of people. I came to ask you to tell me about my mother and the devils. And this is, I don't remember her name, sorry, but she has, I mean, first of all, she's very much awake, which is interesting. But she's the, the dream magic captain. Yeah, that's actually real weird, because, like, I'm used to her with her eyes open because she was possessed by the elf. But now she's completely normal and her eyes are open. My mother and the devils. That I don't think we've brought up before. We do know that her mother is, I mean, I assume she married into the Van Diemen family. Or no, she's not a Van Diemen, right? The Silva family. Yeah, because her mother had the steel magic, whereas, like, the rest of the family tends to have water magic, I believe. But that's not really a curse, right? Like, I assumed that was just, that's her power. And she was pretty darn strong, too. Like, she could do the whole armor thing. Which, I mean, it could be the other way around. It could be, like, maybe she, did the curse herself or something for more power. I don't know what else we could tie it into, though. Like, it could be related to why I wouldn't want it to be, like, Noelle couldn't control her magic very well because she was cursed or something. That would suck. Like, that would, like, it wouldn't invalidate her struggle, but it would feel weird. It would feel kind of unnecessary, or, like, too retroactive. Anyways, that is Black Clover. Interesting chapter. Like, we went from something very hype that I really wanted to have. Like, she still, as far as we can tell, she didn't, like, confess yet, but they're having a meeting together, so maybe. At this point, I don't think there's a reason not to. I think, we could also have a good dynamic where she just confesses and says, I like you, and Yami says, sure, or, like, I'm not feeling it. And it wouldn't, like, mess her up completely. Huh. Apart from that, at the very least, like, her brigade knows. And we could do some We Never Learn shenanigans where she still doesn't confess to the end of this, but then her brigade keeps on coming up with, funny ways for her to try and confess to Yami. Like, I'd be into that. I like that kind of humor. So that's Black Clover. Overall, I'd say it slightly edges out Actage. Like, Actage was a really good chapter, but I do think this was better. Like, it had comedy, it had action, it had a lot of world building. Like, we are really tying things together now, which I really like. One of my biggest complaints about early Black Clover was that it felt like this world had rules, but I just didn't understand them because they weren't being explained. And if we're going to, like, now, after all of this, if we're going to finally start talking about things and tying them together, like, I'm into it. I'm very into it. Anyways, that is Black Clover. Next is We Never Learn, chapter 128. More than ever, what supports X is X. Actually, for once, I can say X is almost certainly going to be I was gonna say Taishi Susui. No, boy, Naruyuki, because right now he is like dying on the streets. The is ... implying to be her, because as we know, she doesn't actually have to take this big exam. She is she's just there for moral support. She's going to Australia, so she would be the one who is free to go and try and find him. Also, for those of you who don't read Actage or Black Clover, but you do watch my We Never Learn reactions, the last two have, like, both Actage and Black Clover have involved a confession of some sort, so are we going to do 3 for 3 maybe? Confession time? Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll find a way to track down Naruyuki. Like, they can't do that much, even all together. It would help, sure, but, like, like, he wouldn't want them to miss this anyways. The exam starts in just 30 minutes, technically 32 minutes, as you can see. So I think this is going to be a situation where, like, 30 minutes pass, and they're barely there, but, because of those extra 2 minutes, they got in just in the nick of time. Ah, the dog. Okay. So I assume it took, like, something of Naruyuki's that she would recognize. Oof. Yeah, I mean, he's very, very poor, so that's quite painful. Especially since, like, he only got that phone, when was it, like 30 chapters ago or so? Like, not that long ago. Like, and he was even, he bought the phone outright, I believe, and he was just using a prepaid SIM to get by, so... It's not broken, I think, but it's gotta be sprains. Yeah... But even then, like, he did get all the way up the stairs at the very least, and he's gonna keep on going. Alright, thank you, Urika, thank you. Whew. Ah, okay. Very cute. Extremely cute. I like the Hazuki and Kazuki both chose, they just had one thing for both of them. They're basically just one person. Battery's dead. Because, oh yeah, because if they, if it wasn't dead, they could have just said, like, hey, just call an Uber or something, or, we'll pay you back. But because of that, like, she definitely can't. I guess you could flag down, like a cab or something. Test starts in 15 minutes. Walking at normal pace, it would take 30 minutes. That said, also, like, if we're not going to do, like, anything else, Urika is very strong. Like, she's been training this entire time to build herself up. So, if, like, also, We Never Learn has a bit of a gag element to it. So, I think, based on gag logic, she could pick him up and then, like, run with him for 15 minutes and get him there in time. I could see that. Just lean on me. If I run as fast as I can, we might still make it. I was really hoping for the piggyback ride. But still, very cool. Extremely cool. If someone is there giving me support, then I've got to give my very best until the very end. Alright, come on, you can make it. Oh, Sensei! Sensei with a very bad-looking winter coat. Oh no, oh no! That's one of the only things I dislike about Taishi's arts. Like, in general, I think it's some of the best art that I consistently get to enjoy. Because, like, it's so cute and so blobby and it's great. But he does do this thing where, like, he'll use plaid screen tones or just other screen tones to, like, fill in an outfit, and it never looks good. Like, we saw it a few other times in this chapter alone, like with, like with her skirt and stuff. Not a big fan of that. Okay, so she must have still been there, like, creeping on them. Oh no, it looks so much worse from a front-on perspective. Like, I guess, because of the call, right? On the phone, you told Furuhashi your location. Also, you got to be out onto a major streets. Right. Clever, clever. That said, it is Sensei driving. They're still not out. They're still not out of the hot water. They might die. Oh yeah, he does have friends. We never focus on them, but they're there. Like, I actually do appreciate that. That, like, it's not that we never learned forgot about them. Like, they do show up occasionally, it's just they're not the main focus. But we do get to see them every once in a while. Like, I think that's a fair, like, balance to hits. If you don't want, like, if that's not what the series is about, if you're not going to bring in his other friends, if you're going to focus on him and the harem. That said, like, that amount of leg pain, and he just half ran all the way there, half was driven. Like, it's still gonna shake him up. So he better like know his stuff. Here's hoping. I mean, I'm rooting for all of them. I want all of them to do extremely well. This is essentially the climax of the series. Like, after this, it's just where do they want to go going forward, which we've already kind of fleshed out. But like, these exam marks are everything. So overall, great chapter. Not my favorite, but like great. I thought it was a satisfactory like wrap up of this portion, the Naruyuki being hurt portion. It still wasn't as good as Black Clover and Actage this week, but that's because Black Clover and Actage has had really great chapters. So with that, let's move on to Mission Yozakura Family, Chapter 5. Hostage. So last chapter we did see like, a mysterious figure saying something mysterious like, yes, now we'll do that. So, makes sense. Now, I mean, is this a real hostage situation? I assume so. I was thinking that maybe it was a Yozakura thing. Like, maybe they took him hostage to, like, teach him something, but... I do like this aesthetic, by the way. Like, just the running joke of spy stuff in this world is extremely common. Like, you can just, find dedicated spy stuff on Twitter. You can just buy a magazine. It doesn't even seem like it's a, like, special secret magazine or anything. You can just pick it up. It's fine. By the way, like, when the series first started, I did call it, like, Discount Spy X Family. Just because, it's a spy series and it's focused on family. I do feel like they're very different series, though. Plus, now that Spy X Family is running in Shonen Jump, like, I have been reading it. I'm not totally caught up, though, but maybe I'll do it on the channel. Like, that might be fun. Maybe. It depends. We'll see. Yeah, why me? Okay, so we still got the competence. Like, I really do appreciate that. Within one chapter, he became a spy. So, now we don't have to do the usual, like, oh, but he's useless right now. He's super weak. Like, no, he isn't. He is relatively competent. It's just, he's not going to be as competent as all the other spies that have been there for the longest time. And he's definitely not going to be on the level as, the level of the Yozakuras. Which is fine. Okay. Get back in the room. Oh, really? I didn't know that. By pushing back, you can disable the fire mechanism of semi-automatic gun. So, like, if he pulled the trigger, would it not work as long as you're pushing backwards? Huh. Oh, I see. I thought he was hurt from, the altercation or something, but no, like, he intentionally dislocated his shoulder. I really like this dynamic right now of, like, he knows how to do all these things, but, like, it still hurts. He still doesn't like it. That's a really good, like, mid-ground to have. Oh, if you use fertilizer that's too strong, it'll actually damage the roots. Like, that's calling back to his previous training, like, where he was, like, nearly dying every day because he was so worn out. He was in Weekly Spy. He was the one doing the Poison Herbs article. That's a really great catch. Also, I do appreciate that they did typeset that. Like, that's a good callback. That's also, I don't think I've ever seen that before in a series. Like, not the call out of, hey, you don't even have the safety off, but specifically, you don't have the safety off because you never intended to shoot me, right? I can see that. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna be a step above. Okay. So this might be the the disguising one, pretending to be her. But I imagine, like, in this, circle of people, they'd probably immediately check for disguises, so maybe not. I mean, fair enough. That also means that they really should be protecting him as if he is her, right? Like, I don't understand why they aren't, really. Like, they're married. Why aren't they sleeping in the same room? Like, not in the same bed, sure. Like, sure, they're friends, but they're not that close yet. But they should be in the same room at the very least, because they're married. Oh my god, that's such a cool way of taking something that I thought was, 100% just a throwaway chapter, just a like, hey, here's a thing we're doing, and tying it directly into the plot. Like, that's really clever. Right, and that's why they took it, that's why they allowed him to be the one who took care of her, because they didn't realize that she was connected at all, because, even she didn't realize she was connected to this. That I really hope the series continues to do stuff like that, actually. Like, I love series that have, like, almost no waste to them. And I don't mean, like, a series that is obscenely tightly written. I mean one where, everything has a purpose, even if that purpose isn't, like, obscenely important all the time. Full Metal Alchemist is a really good example of that, where, like, you can just go through random chapters and look at random things people say, and they are all very extremely, like, thematic, or, like, they move forward this idea the series is pushing forward, even if it is just, like, a random throwaway line. And that's the kind of thing I love. Like, I also like series that are extremely tightly written, but sometimes they can go a bit too far. Sometimes they can be too lean. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. So far, like, this is an example of a way of writing a one-shot chapter that ends up tying into something else that doesn't make it feel, too, obscenely overplanned. Like, most of that chapter was still unnecessary, quote unquote, but enough was there to make it, like, an important part of the series. Like, it's not something you can just skip over in an anime adaptation. Now, because she touched him and said, "Don't worry," maybe it is the disguisey boy, because that might be a situation like where he's freaking out because he realizes, like, oh, this isn't the way she feels when she touches my cheek. I got back from my business trip to find some trash by the front door. When I took a closer look, I was right. There was trash. You. And yeah, like, this isn't his plan. Like, he's being hired to do this, but, like, he's not making a move against the Yozakuras. And that does make sense. Like, they know that she won't be hurt, so she's gonna just wait there for a bit while the Yozakuras, break in and take her back. Like, it's not a win-win, but, like, it's an optimal move for everyone. In the same way, they must know that, yeah, once they actually have her, the Yozakuras are gonna go after them tenfold. But at the same time, like, they have to take it. They can't accept, because they're gonna need her eventually, or else they don't get this, whatever it is they're getting out of this, I guess. Probably money. You need to be become a man more worthy of Mutsumi. Alright. Yet, as he said before, too much fertilizer can hurt the plants. Like, we just had an arc about how hell training isn't the best way to do this kind of thing. And yet, we've got to do some hell training. It's interesting. Like, the series has a lot of things that I can nitpick at, but I feel like it's intentional. I feel like this is the kind of series that is smart enough to put out contrasting threads, or, to do little things here and there that feel a little off because it's all going to tie together eventually. That might be saying a bit too much about it. Like, the only other series from this mangaka that I've read has been Poro's Daily Demon Diary, and that was not great. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel a weird amount of trust for this mangaka, so we'll see how it goes. I'm up for anything. Anyways, that was Yozakura Family. Next is Mitama Security Spirit Busters, Chapter 4. I did hear from my boyfriend that this chapter apparently is, like, it's a different sort of comedy from the first three, which is exciting to hear, because like, the original joke's getting a tiny bit old. So if they can spice it up in some way and show a little more longevity for the series, I'm all for that. Okay, still attacking the line. Okay. Is that man a friend of yours? So, first of all, there's a whole security training institute. So, like, we are confirming that, this is more of an organized thing. He's not just a weirdo on his own, sure. They're following me. They're still there. Yeah, she never agreed to this. She just allows him to be around. Okay. Also, tentacle-haired. I would not call his hair tentacle-y. If anything, it looks, I don't know, like a banana peel or something, maybe? But not like a tentacle. You can call me weak, but don't you dare call me tentacle-haired. What are these insults? These are some incredibly specific insults. Like, I do appreciate this kind of humor. The humor of, here's a phrase you've probably never heard anyone ever say before. There's something to that that's really exciting. Okay. So how's he gonna screw this up? Alright, so far he seems perfect. Also, he has no spirit sense at all. Okay, so he's not gonna be that. I mean, even then, he put in the report saying there's a line behind this girl. Why not just attack behind her? Okay. So he did graduate. Like, he does have the grades. He is conceptually really good, but he just does the paperwork. Okay, I can relate to this man. Why is he wiggling his butt? What is happening? When we were in school, you had a crush on a girl named Miki. Okay, where is this going? Okay. With such a smug look on your face too, as if to say I'm not like the other guys. But that restaurant was a diner. Oh boy. No, even then, I mean, I guess it's the bragging that makes that bad. Like, that's not bad for a first date, especially if you're in like high school or like, you know, the start of college. Like, I've been to worse places with my friends, sure. But I guess like if you're bragging about it, that's the big deal. I can't afford to lose to someone so uncool. And of course, that's enough to make him cry. Sure, fair. Also, the spear spinning makes sense because it's a spear. Like, you know, spear spinning is an actual discipline that people go through, slash, you know, even if it's not for fighting, it's also like a traditional dance thing. But he's just spinning the gun. That's useless. That's actually useless. Oh, okay, I just realized. Oh my god. So, yeah, this... I don't know if it was that obvious in the first couple of chapters, but it gives me such Bobobo vibes. Like, specifically the fact that we have so many panels of, you know, her in the same panel as someone else, just like staring either at a character or like just at the audience. Like, specifically a panel like this. It's such a like old gag series thing to do. Like, I can't think of a gag series I've read recently at all that does this specifically. I bring up a Bobobo because it's one of the last series I ever read that did that. But even like, you know, a more modern series like, you know, Psyche, for instance, like they would have individual panels of Psyche's reaction faces at times. And I think that, yeah, I'm sure that they've definitely had moments where, you know, Psyche's looking at someone with a grossed out expression. But usually it's just like a sole panel. It's not like this, where it's here's a shot and then, you know, she's not physically here, but it's just a close up of her face giving the reaction. Like, oh, that's so classic. Oh boy. Also, this is what I said I really liked before. It's just, instead of it being very specific insults, now it's very specific stories from school. You must have really wanted to stand out because on Miki's birthday, you gave her a rap you wrote yourself. He remembers the lyrics. Okay, they've got to be friends then. Like, this is a thing I've done before. Where, you know, I've been with someone and they've like made up a horrible rap for, you know, their significant other, and I just kind of like I would never, you know, I would have never memorized such a thing, but you know, usually I remember like the chorus or something. It's so make sure you get your vitamin C. What are the spirits doing? They're taking so long to start the exorcism that the spirits have taken pity on them and attacked first. Oh, but maybe. The spirits... It's not being cut, it's just being moved around. Is this not a real blade? They give him a fake one because they took pity on him? The spirits! The spirits! Also, this choice in reaction face is really interesting. Because, like, we went from, like, serious concern to, like, fear to, like, shock, but it's shock without the, like, the fear lines. Or, like, I don't know what you'd call this. Like, the depression lines, the concern lines. Usually, like, with Bobobo, for instance, if they were to do, like, a scene like this, they would, like, build up the intensity of it. Like, it would probably start with a image like that. Or actually, no, because this is supposed to be the more concerned one. But, like, I feel like these would have been swapped or something. Or, like, they would have been swapped, and then this one would still have, like, the bigger mouth. What about the time you called the diner waitress mom? Well, you thought the phrase left on red was left unread. Yes, what is this pose? Especially because Mitama does have spirit sense, so he was clearly aware that the spirit was here. He just, first of all, didn't attack it. Secondarily, at some point, the spirit got the spear for some reason. For what purpose? I was saying last reaction that I really wanted, I really like how Miyako-chan has a lot of unexplained things in the series, and, like, I think that's a great part of the comedy of it. But this is a very different sort of unexplained spirit activity. It's not even that, the spirits in this world have certain rules that they follow that we don't understand. It's just they're generally very strange. Like, I never get the sense that there is an inherent rule to anything they're doing besides the whole lining up thing. But they also just are comedic for some reason. Also, Mitama must be, like, taking pity on him then. Because, yes, again, Mitama can see the spirits. He's aware that they didn't exercise any of them. But at the same time, like, he's not bringing it up or anything. Okay, one last thing. It's gotten chilly out. Be careful not to catch a cold, stupid. I mean, are they friends or are they lovers? It's a relief to see him doing well, darn it. I mean, if we're gonna do a whole, like, oh no, I just saw this. Oh no, let's read these panels beforehand, though. Why? Why is he moving in? Is this apartment complex going to become Securite headquarters at some point? Okay, but so far, like, I definitely see what Donut meant by this being a very, like, a new sort of comedy for the series. Like, it is very unlike the first 3 chapters. It definitely shows the longevity of the series, that, like, they can do more things, which I'm very happy about. Really glad that we're not, dwelling on the same general setup over and over again. And, I mean, the cast is very small so far, so I can see them adding in a couple more Securite agents before we start really going off on this. Or actually, I could see, like, one more Securite agent and then one spirit that's, like, part of the lineup, or, like, just a general spirit that's, like, an important one. Like, one with an actual design that sticks around and, it was never exercised. I think that'd be an interesting balance. And then after that, like, I hope it's more or less still a comedy series. Or, like, I hope it's like Psyche, if anything else, in terms of, like, there is a plot, it's not something that's focused on. It comes up every once in a while. Or, there's plot threads, but there's no, like, real strict plots. Because, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of comedy series with heavy plots at this point. Like, I'm okay with, like, shonen, action series that also have comedy in them. But if it's mainly comedy that then transitions to action, I don't know, it feels very played out. A lot of series in the early 2000s did that, and it feels very, I don't know, not a big fan of it. Anyways, that's Mitama. Now it's time for the live stream. Let's see who tunes in and who doesn't. Hey guys. Alright, gang is all here. Let's jump right into Chainsaw Man. Chapter 39, Tearjerker. Tearjerker is, I mean, I really don't know what we're doing at this point. Like, the current arc's a bit over, so... These horns mean power drank too much blood. Okay, fair enough. I was jumping a little too quickly to the conclusion of, like, maybe she's a different type of devil. Maybe she, absorbed too much zombie devil energy or something. But it seems like this is going to be just... Sure. It's time for a blood draining. I mean, she's a blood devil, though, so, like, is a blood draining a thing you're supposed to do with them? I mean, I guess all devils, like, devils and fiends just generally operate on blood. Like, blood's just a thing with them. But I'm wondering if if it'll have any specific thing to do with her nature as a blood devil. Like, if any other devil were to drink too much blood, like, would they also just get bigger horns, or is there something specifically going on with her? Okay, if she doesn't, she'll turn into an even scarier and haughtier devil than she is now. Hey, Geared. Hmm. I'm so used to seeing Power being again so haughty, so high and mighty. So these are some rare reaction faces. Oh boy. Also, a lot of doujin's going to be written about this specific moments. Oh no, actually, I just considered the idea. Like, it's not just she's removing bodily fluids; it's specifically she's removing blood. That might not be great for doujins. Oh boy. Hey, homie. Oh boy, it's Shark Boy. Two great ships in one chapter already. We're being spoiled. Lord Chainsaw. Denji. I mean, to be fair, at least this was a punch to the face and not a kick to the nuts. Like, that is Denji showing restraints. Really? Oh boy, okay, yeah, so that is Denji's hand. The way that's framed makes it look like it's Makima's hand. Which, oh, that would be pretty cursed. Even as this, it's still a very cursed panel. Fujimoto, maybe redo this one a little bit. Huh, so, when he's saying Lord Chainsaw, is he a fan of Chainsaw Man? Or is he a fan of, of Pochita, of the Chainsaw Devil? Because we do know, like, there's something going on with the, with the Chainsaw Devil. Maybe not even with Pochita specifically, but with the term Chainsaw Devil, with that, with his hearts. Like, are we going to get some exposition on that, perhaps? Or maybe not even exposition. Maybe it'll just be, him showing his love for, Denji. And then from there, at least Denji understanding, like, oh yeah, that's a thing. This is, not just a bunch of people trying to kill me. Like, there's something going on here. Pochita's heart is important in some way. Your order is absolute. Lord Chainsaw, strongest, supremest. No, Denji, come on, be into dudes. For the sake of the doujins, Denji, please. Okay, things got real hetero. Like, that's a full 180. I really want that Makima X Power Doujin where Makima has the big yaoi hands, and Power is doing something involving shooting a lot of blood into Makima. Oh boy! Again, Chainsaw Man is full of things that I want to see animated. Though I know for a fact, if Chainsaw Man ever gets animated, it's probably not going to be animated well. Like, just because of the art style. Because the art style is, like, it's contingent on how unfinished it looks. Like, this is an aesthetic that I don't think works that well in anime. Like, even Bleach, I think, like, a lot of great scenes in Bleach didn't really make the transition very well from anime to manga, or from manga to anime. Specifically because Bleach is so, like, reliant on the lack of backgrounds in certain moments. Or, like, the extreme, ridiculous style in certain points. Like, I think the David Productions JoJo's adaptation does a really good job of transitioning the style of JoJo's to the anime. In that, they're willing to do, like, big moments where characters stand absolutely still, or it's just, like, the background moving or something. I feel like Chainsaw Man would need to have a lot, not a lot of those, but every once in a while, you need one or two. Ooh, I do agree, homie, actually. Like, Garo is a really good fit for Chainsaw Man. Keita Amamiya is a guy who, by the way, I think everyone knows this at this point if you've been following my channel. Keita Amamiya is the creator of Garo, and he's a man who needs no money because Garo is funded exclusively via Pachinko at this point. Like, the Garo TV shows make money, but not much. And they're not being made because they make money. They're being made because Keita Amamiya won't allow them to make more Pachinko machines if he doesn't get to make more TV series. It's a wild concept. Amazons, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Amazons, honestly. Like, I recently rewatched it with Zaku, and it made me realize that, man, like, the concepts are pretty great, but it's kind of clunky. And even, what is her name? The lady who does really good starts and endings to series. Yasuko Kobayashi. Like, she was not giving it her all for season 1, even though I like season 1. And then season 2 is just, boy, what happens? Whereas, like, Garo is very consistently, like, good, like, street fantasy. And I think that's what Chainsaw Man is, like, first and foremost. It is street fantasy. Extremely street fantasy, but, it's very street. Also, I want to see the Chainsaw Man, like, design. I want to see that as, like, a physical actor walking around with a chainsaw hat. I mean, I don't know if this is sexual or not. I don't know, but, like, at the very least, I can see why she's cute. Like, that is a good outfit. I've been here since 5. Wait, what date? What time is this? Want to go on a date with me on a day after? Like, are they doing this in the morning or the afternoon? I assume the morning. But in that case, he's been up here since 5 a.m. Jeez. Oh boy. From now until midnight, we're going on a theater hopping movie marathon. So I haven't finished Fire Punch yet. Actually, quick check on Viz. Viz. Do they have all of Fire Punch out yet? Like, right now, I have very little time to record, but I do want to, like, if all of Fire Punch is out, I don't believe Fire Punch was 7 volumes, right? Was it? Okay, 8 volumes. So, when does Volume 8 come out? Oh, October 15th. Okay, that's not too far away. So yeah, I'll probably get back onto that, like, as I'm trying to wrap things up. But anyways, the point of that diversion was to say that Fire Punch we're surprisingly theater-focused. Like, surprisingly movie theater-focused. So, I trust Fujimoto in his decision to have them go to the theater. I don't know where this is going, but... What movie is this? What is happening? Wait, is this a comedy? I mean, I guess that would actually make a lot more sense here. I thought this was supposed to be like a serious action movie or something, but the old man angel felt very comedic. This is honestly like a much better idea than choosing one movie for a date, though. Like, if you choose one movie for a date, you're really pinning your hopes on that being a good movie, and specifically, it being a good movie that you can then talk about afterwards, like repeatedly, because like that's the point. Otherwise, you're just sitting there in a dark theater with someone else, not interacting for like 2 hours. But like this actually has a really interesting appeal to it, in that even if they don't like the movies, they can at the very least talk about each one for a bit and then immediately jump into the next one. I still do think this is a bad idea, though, in general, though, because, like, if they're going to spend all day doing this is 8 hours of them mostly not communicating. Like, I guess there is some level of communication, actually. Like, it is, I assume, Denji looking at her and trying to figure out, like, okay, what is she feeling here? She's not crying. Cute. Okay, so she's the kind of person who doesn't like being manipulated. Which, I mean, she is the master manipulator, so I can understand why. The music was pretty good. The plot was too contrived. That was completely average. I mean, first of all, I hate this. But secondarily, I love the direction of this. I guess when I said I hate this, what I mean is, like, I hate having conversations with people where they do, like, have, like, one phrase insults for each movie. Like, I like saying things that are vaguely positive about everything I watch before I get into the criticism. At the same time, though, this is a dangerous move, because if anyone doesn't like Chainsaw Man, you can crop these out and just paste them into the Amazon, like, reviews. And they'd work pretty darn well. I mean, I guess not for the manga, though. This would just 100%... I feel if someone posted this into the Amazon reviews for, like, Chainsaw Man Volume 1 or something, this would also be a review where they rank it, like, 5 out of 5. Like, it's clearly... That would have to be trolly. People say they don't understand this movie. I mean, I've had this experience quite a bit with my fiance. He doesn't really understand movies either, so... But then again, like, I had this idea once of, like, hey, maybe I'll show him, like, an art house movie, because if he doesn't like movies, maybe he'll enjoy something that's so, like, off the cuff that it's barely a movie, or, like, it doesn't confine itself to traditional understanding of what a movie is, and he hated it. So, this is a big-ass gamble. Now, I'm also really curious to know, like, is this movie going to come up at some point? Like, maybe it will. Because the way she's phrasing it, it feels like this is going to be important. Like, she hasn't had an emotional response to anything thus far. So if something's going to give her an emotional response, it's going to dig deep into, like, what she is, or at the very least, like, what she finds important. / what speaks to her. Ah, and of course, because it's a movie that people are mixed about, they're completely alone in the theater, because no one's watching it. And of course, she's crying too. The way... That's really interesting, though. Because, like, even though she's, she is responding to it emotionally, it's such a very stoic response. Like, it's just a little tear here, and then, one more going down her cheek. Like, it's very subdued. Whereas, like, Denji is much more emotional. Like, to the point where he has to fight it back to make it, so that Makima doesn't get to see what's going on. I wonder what she's gonna say about it then. That last movie, I'm gonna remember it till the day I die. No, talk about it! This is the one time in most fiction where I really want to see characters just, give their movie reviews. Though, to be fair, like, in Fire Punch, I would have killed to have Inamaki or something that was just, here are all the characters talking about X movie. I mean, that's actually a very, very clear way to show, like, yeah, you've got a heart. I can hear it. God damn! I mean, she's such an enigma, but especially this, like, because of this, I can't tell, like, I know she's manipulating Denji, 100%. There's no way that's, like, but how much of this is manipulation, how much of this is, like, genuinely emotional? Because now, like, you can also see it on her face, that she does, like, not necessarily that she cares about him, but that, like, she's feeling something. Like, that's important in the context of this chapter specifically, because we've seen that it takes a lot to get anything out of her. Or, at the very least, take something very specific to get anything out of her. I think part of it might be that Denji is so, like, he's so honest. Like, he's so bold with his feelings. Like, even then, I wonder, actually, was she crying because of the movie, or was she crying because Denji was crying? Because, like, in the same way, I could see, like, all the other things she's done being kind of reflections of the way Denji's been acting. The one exception being when, she said, like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, like, in chapter 2 or something. Like, when Denji was considering running away. When she, like, really freaked him out. But, like, apart from that, like, a big part of her control over him has been her empathy. Her ability to understand what he needs and to say exactly what he needs to hear. And to give him genuinely good advice. Yeah, that one moment where she freaked him out really does feel like a misstep then. Like an uncharacteristic misstep. Okay, that's actually a really interesting take, Yerd. Like, I could see that. Because again, we never see her looking at him. It's always, like, it's being framed as the two of them are watching the movie, and then occasionally Denji, like, looks over and sees her. But it's very possible that she's been looking at him. Just, like, maybe without even turning without turning her head. Because when Denji looks, it's pretty clear, like, Denji is turning, like, not his entire head, but, like, he is shifting noticeably. Whereas, like, maybe she was peeking out the corner of her eye to see, like, how he was acting. Plus, like, like, he was moving his hands and stuff, like, yeah. I don't know what I would prefer, honestly. Like, she's such an enigma, and part of me, wants her to remain an enigma because it's such a big part of her. Like, I'm scared that, that Fujimoto won't nail the landing. That when we figure out what's going on with her, if we do, that it won't all fit together properly. That I will go backwards and think, like, oh, this scene doesn't make sense then. Whereas what I really want is, I want to understand her in a way in which, rereading the series, I can see everything from her perspective, and it all makes 100% complete sense. And, I mean, do I have enough faith to think that might actually happen? I don't know, probably not. But I do want it to happen. I think that'd be really cool. Also, she did legitimately, like, they were there in the morning, she's here at night, like, she did spend the entire day with him. Like, I feel like that's gotta be at least partially manipulative. Like, she clearly doesn't like him that much as a person. So, it's gotta have been, like, she wanted to make sure that the Chainsaw Fiend, or, Chainsaw whatever, the Chainsaw Man, was under wraps, / that she still has a bond with him. Though that said, like, she's such a strange person. I could have seen her... Oh my god, she never ate this chapter, did she? I don't think she did. Let's see. Because, like, she's extremely food-focused. So she's got a coffee or something. But, like, she never had popcorn or anything either. That's extremely uncharacteristic. What? I feel like there's something there, but I can't fully pull it out. Like, is she the empathy devil, maybe? Because, like, depending on how you stretch empathy, like, it could be that, she's very good at manipulating others. It could be that, the whole, like, twisting people apart thing is really the rough one there, though. Like, that's not really empathy. But then, like, you could even play off the fact that she blew a hole in someone as, like, that's not the gun devil. That's, that's her empathy. That was people trying to blow a hole in her, and then she reversed the hole blowing. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not saying that, it's weird that she didn't eat anything. I'm saying, or I'm not saying that's weird that we didn't see either of them eating. I'm saying that's weird that we didn't see her eat, because Makima is so focused on food. Like almost every chapter we see her, either she's eating or she makes a reference to eating. It's so rare to not see her talk about it that like it feels standout. It feels like if Fujimoto wanted to be, wanted to make it normal, then at the very least, in like this scene, for instance, she'd be like carrying a snack, or like in this montage or something, she at some point she'd like hold a hot dog or something. And specifically, I think the thing that's really fucking me up is this, that like we do see that they got coffee here. Like they've been going back to this coffee shop for a bit, but she didn't eat anything. Huh. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, like like if she knows the Chainsaw Devil, maybe she was listening to it say something. Though at the same time, like, I took this as more like, she was relaxing or something, like, she was enjoying the moments. Though it is ambiguous. It could also be her literally, like, thinking, like, is this a heart? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a heart. Well, my empathy devil theory is, I think, unbelievably shaky, so I'm not going to really hold to it, but I don't know, I really like it. The only big question there is, how does empathy tie into killing, killing people who are on death row and then making twisty motions with your hands and then tear people apart in other places on the world? Anyways, that was Chainsaw Man. I'm not going to linger too long on that, but like, this was a fantastic chapter. Like, it's going to be one of those chapters that really keeps my head buzzing throughout the week. I forgot to do rankings for some of these. Okay, so Yozakura Family was very I really enjoyed Spirit Busters. I'd probably put that above We Never Learned, below Act Dodge. And then Chainsaw Man. I mean, it's such... I have such trouble ranking Chainsaw Man. Like, why did I say it like that? Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man. I have such a problem ranking Chainsaw Man because it's so offbeat. Like, because I never know what I'm getting, and when I do know what we're getting, it's usually so, like, quick and snappy that, like, I don't know, I always enjoy it a lot, but I don't think I enjoy it the way I enjoy anything else in Jump right now. It has very much the same appeal that Bleach used to have with me, except with Bleach it was a combination of it being very snappy and also it being extremely formulaic, whereas, like, Chainsaw Man is very not formulaic. This was essentially just a, like, slice of life chapter. A really, really fantastic one, but not the genre I associate with Chainsaw Man. Honestly, yeah. Like, I think it's honestly very difficult to do a good slice of life series. And that's why, like, I've talked to people about, series that I consider to be slice of life, and they've disagreed by saying, like, no, it's not slice of life, it's this other genre. Because, like, this can't be slice of life. It's just people talking about stuff, but they're doing something else, too. And, like, I think those are the best slice of life series. Like series where there is some semblance of a plot or like a thing that's going on, but it's also slice of life. Because it adds some structure to it. It's like, it's not just the mangaka every single week thinking like, all right, what are they doing now? How can I do another one-shot, essentially? It feels a little big to put this above Black Clover, so I think I'll put it right below. Like, this was a really, really great Black Clover chapter. But this was also a really great Chainsaw Man chapter. Well, we'll put it there for now. I think that's fair. Alright, anyways, that's enough dilly-dallying. That was like 2 straight minutes of me just wondering where to put this, so let's speed things up. We're moving right into the... I almost forgot again. Yet again. The Promised Neverland, Chapter 151, The Ones to Win. There we are. Also, I do appreciate... I mean, I agree with that. Yotsuba is the best slice of life manga, which I think is also the reason why it's been, like, on and off hiatus for so long. Like, because every single chapter is this pure, concentrated, wonderful. But I think that's also not really sustainable. Like, it's done in a way where I feel like the volumes feel effortless, but there must be a lot of effort that goes into making them feel effortless. And like, with a slice of life series that isn't that well done, / that doesn't take breaks, you can really start to see the seams showing. Like, when things start to get very stale, or they start to, get weird. Anyways, speaking of getting weird, we have Zazie. We have, we don't quite know what happened here. Donut was way more confused about this than I was, but even then, like, I can't fully explain what happened last chapter. But I think that's intentional. Like, something happened. It wasn't like a gunfire. What I assumed was that these demons on the floor were being double tapped. Like, just make sure their brains are destroyed. Make sure those eyes have been hit. But, like, there's also steam coming out of them now. Also, Zaku, like, boy, oh boy, okay, I'll get back to that in a moment. We're actually doing a fight scene, and it's one in which Zazie, is not being immediately slaughtered. Interesting, like, is he, like, on the same level as Queen Lagravlina? Because, like, she seems to be on a whole other level compared to other, like, combat-based demons. So, like, is it just that raw, mutated Norman power, or is it something else? She seems legitimately very scared, too, implying that I think Zazie must have moved so quickly that she barely managed to stop the blade. Plus, her mask is off, so she can't even, like, she doesn't have the protection of the mask. She also doesn't have the misdirection aspect of the mask, of, like, this isn't the main eye. Like, nope, the main eye is pretty obvious. Or, the main eye's always been the one in the center, but the masks have always been able to be like, hey, is this the center of the face? Who knows? Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like most of his attacks are getting through, but, like, it's enough to push her, so... Okay, and they're coming from the ceiling. Keep attacking without pause. The Queen and Gilan are both strong, right? Oh, okay. That's really cool. Like, we are going full biological with it then. Which I guess makes sense. Like, they have been biological creatures ever since we learned that they are, that they are midichlorians, essentially. That they're, they're tiny little viruses. So, like, there must be a physical way to burn them out. And that seems to be what's happening. Like, Oh my god, that's a really good line. They're organisms that specialize in instantaneous power. Because that's been true for the whole series. The reason why the demons have been so scary has been mostly because they've been jump scares, or it's been a moment where a demon's come in out of nowhere. And that's always scary. Like, it's inherently scary because it's that human instinct of, oh no, suddenly a predator. But that's also when the demons are the strongest. At any point beyond that first jump, like, they're already bleeding energy, and they can't replenish it. Now I really want to reread Goldie Pond with that in mind. Because, like, it was basically the same thing, and, like, it makes sense just from a normal human perspective of wear them down. But I wonder if we can see that specific moment in which, like, Luvis went from being, like, mostly maximum power to, like, suddenly dropping. It's gotta be before they, like, boxed him into the, what was that? Was it the base? I don't think it was the base. Like, there was a specific moment where, like, it was when we had that big, like, panorama shot, that, like, super long hallway shot of, like, all the kids running around him and shooting from multiple angles. Like, I think that was the moment where, like, he noticeably slowed down, but I could be wrong. I feel like I'm misremembering that. Also, hey, Senior Marshmallow. Yeah, Gellerada to you too. So, in that case, this was like a mini theory I had. Maybe they poisoned the corpses, like with the ploop 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 thing that happened last chapter. Like, maybe that was supposed to be like poison darts or something. So that way, like, Lagravlina is being driven into a corner, she might try to eat one of them, and then it'll, like, it'll poison her. Because we still have that. Like, they still, as far as I can tell, like, they haven't set off the, the weird rats mutate-y stuff. And, like, they've got to do it here, right? Like, it'd be dumb if they were like, okay, we're going to kill the royal family, the most dangerous demons, and then after that, we're going to use the bomb. Like, the optimal choice would be to do it now while they're, pushing her to her limit, because then she can't react to it. And then at the same time, like, she can't call for reinforcements because her reinforcements are being poisoned. Okay. That said, the one things they couldn't poison were themselves, so, like, if she just eats one of them, then she's back in the game. Plus, like, they are, they're breakouts from Lambda, so they would have big, tasty brains. Like, that might be their downfall. It's like being attacked by chicken tenders. Like, it's dangerous, but if you can just eat one of them, it's all over. They have so much faith in Zazie. Zazie can do it. And, like, big shadowed shot of Zazie, implying that, Zazie is definitely 100% not a demon like I thought. and also slightly less obviously that Zazie is not in fact Isabella. Hmm. I guess we might just have to accept that Zazie is just a weird shaved Adam. Also, very interesting fighting tactic. I guess it's useful because it's not something she would usually do. Like, you don't like, because she's so like nail focused and very graceful, you wouldn't expect her to break right into a United States of Smash. Oh no. Well, I guess Barbara's being eaten. How ironic. The girl who was so mad about demons eating humans, the person who ate so many demons over the course of her life, now she's the one being eaten. Who could have guessed this? Okay, dang. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, she's so worn out, and she didn't get to eat Barbara yet, so like her ability to fix her arm would be very, very low. Also, hey Eyebrow, it's been a long time since you've been here for, not just like the tail ends. Also, Zaku, come on, it's fine, it's fine. What is going on with Zazie's eyes? Is this Berserker mode Zazie? Like, specifically the fact that, like, it's not even like you can see the eyes there. It's like, you can see these, like, red, like, these white circles. As if he has, like, these enormous pupils that are just, like, super wide now. Also, like, I really like the way that the holes in the bag are being used as, like, Urzat's eyes for him. There's something, I don't know why, I love it so much. It looks so cool. It's such a strong aesthetic. Also, Legravlama has a great, like, she's got a face you want to punch. She has a smile specifically that you want to punch. Like, we've seen it before. We saw it against Gilon, last chapter, but this one in particular is so punch-worthy. Oh no, she has enough of her, like, I honestly didn't think that she'd be able to regenerate her hand that quickly, because she's so burnt out. Also, Eyebrow, yeah, it is a fantastic series. Most of it is not quite like this. But, I mean, I would highly, highly recommend it. The French translation is apparently really good. Zaku, I assume Zaku might have read some of the German translation, so I guess he might know if that's good. But, like, it's also doing really, really, really well in France. So, I mean, very high hopes. I mean, very high expectations, I imagine. And, I'd say at the very least, like, give the first chapter a shot. It is one of those series where I could say, like, you don't have to wait for a few chapters for it to, to get good, or to be the series that people are recommending. Like, no, the very first chapter is fantastic. I mean, you just said you started it, so I guess I don't need to sell you on it. You know what's going on. You get why it's great. Good to hear, actually. The volumes are also fantastic, because, like, the stuff in the back, not the omakes. I mean, they have omakes, but just, like, the general volume extras in Promised Neverland are very high quality. Like, to the point where I don't like, it's not like you can't understand the series without them, but, like, they do substantially add to the charm and the energy of the series. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Wait, what is happening? Oh, did she hit her limit, I guess? I didn't consider this until right now, but yeah, I guess the fact that she can extend her fingers is, like, that's her, like, dividing the cells in her fingernails and making them long and then making them not long. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Like, up until this point, I assumed it was sort of a Wolverine thing of, like, either she was shooting them out or, like, a weird art thing of them not being the same size all the time. But it makes a ridiculous amount of sense that, yeah, they would just be changing. Like, why would she not just change them at will? Oh, man. I'm really excited for Stampede, actually. Like, I guess we'll talk about that more maybe in the One Piece segments, but Stampede looks exciting, and it seems like it's not going to be a canon movie, which I'm really excited for as well, because, like, the most recent ones have been fine, but they're in that weird mid-ground of, like, the characters are canon, but the story's not canon, which doesn't really add much to me, apart from, like, I guess that means we might see them at some point, maybe, but they won't recognize the Straw Hats because the movie didn't happen. Whereas, like, I like the idea of Stampede just being a thing where it's like, they can do whatever they want. If they want Luffy to just die in the movie, they could do that. It's fine. It's a non-canon movie. They could do literally anything with the worlds. There's something so freeing about that, as opposed to a movie that tries to be canon, but also it's not, but also it's bound to the rules of canon. Donut's been very not into these character designs, and, I mean, I disagree with it, but I get why. Like, in general, he has trouble with, like, really hyper-detailed stuff and, like, hyper-detailed stuff moving and stuff, and I can completely understand it, especially with Queen Legravlama here. Like, her design is real busy. Extremely busy. And I do really love that Posca doesn't like just paste this design onto her. Like, it very clearly like here for instance, it doesn't like follow every single contour of her fabric, but for the most part, like the shading works out. I guess it's really mostly shading and like a bit of curvature every once in a while. Like sometimes it's digitally moved around. But like that's enough to make it feel like it's an actual piece of cloth moving around, as opposed to a static image that then is pasted over the clothing. Like that's real rough. Also, actually, the fact that you can clearly tell that this and the back of it are two separate patterns. Like they feel like two separate pieces of cloth. It's not just that these are transparent and then there's like a pattern behind her. That said, like I do think that Donut's idea of it being too busy sometimes is completely justified. It does get very busy. I can understand it for the most part, but even then, like sometimes something will just kind of throw me and I'll go like, not gonna talk about that. We'll just move on. Could it be? Poison. Who could have guessed? But also, like, I really appreciate that we're seeing, these demons being poisoned, while at the same time, you can see the kids here. Like, or, like the demon kids here. Like, thankfully, the demon kids aren't mutating just yet, but this is showing that, this is a plan that involves potentially poisoning the area in which kids are, also poisoning the kids. Like, to be fair, we don't know if these are kids or not. Like, once they start mutating, who knows? Yeah, okay, so that's what it is. Oh, did they like just drop it out of the? Oh my god, no! It's not that they dropped it out of the sky. They dropped it when the confetti was coming down. Okay, that's super clever. The thing that still confuses me about it is it might have just been the paneling, but the first time we saw this poison, it was with this rat, and it looked like a normal rat, but then it looked like it turned into a demon rat, and then it like mutated more. So I think what they were trying to get across with that was like it was a very like low level demon rats, and then the poison caused it to like degenerates. I think that was what was happening. And I personally just mistook it for being a normal rat that turned into a demon rat. Okay, yes. So yeah, they did poison the bodies. And probably also on those blades. Like, they are very dark blades. I didn't consider that. So any cuts given to the queen would, immediately start the process. Yep. I mean, you gotta just go for it. Die, you monster. Though, this is ambiguous. Because, like, it could be Vincent saying, die, you monster. It could also actually be the queen thinking, die, you monster. Like, because the final moment we see is a zoom into her eye. It could be her killing Zazie as, like, her final breath, her last hum on. Anyways, that was The Promised Neverland. Fantastic chapter. Very actiony. I really liked the, I guess the general, direction of it, I suppose. Like, it felt easier to follow than the other chapters, for me at least. And there's something to the combat itself. Like, it wasn't a fight in which it felt like either side was completely winning. Like, it felt like a struggle for the queen, it felt like a struggle for the kids as well. It was great, and I really do appreciate that we sat down and we properly explained, like, hey, this is how this works. This is why it is that these kids can fight the queen on even ground now. Like, it makes logical sense. It's consistent. It's something that should be, standard for any series, but it isn't, and I want to give Promised Neverland props for that. Anyways, not a whole lot else to say about it. Let's just make sure my phone isn't dying. Okay, all's good. Oop. So where would I put this? Why is this not working? Okay, there we are. So right now, Black Clover, Chainsaw Man, Actage. I feel like this was not as good as Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man was fantastic this week. I guess I'd put it right there then. I don't know. Was it really better than Actage? Because like, this was an Actage chapter to die for. I guess I'll put it there. Also, I guess I never mentioned this, but in Black Clover, they brought up the concept of Tsundere Ki. And while I don't really title my reactions the way Donut does, I don't know. Might try to work in Tsundere Ki somewhere. It's a powerful phrase. I really like it. Anyways, on that note, let's move on. We've got 3 more things to go. This is honestly a really breezy, like, Weekly Shonen Jump for me personally, because of what I've chosen to drop and what I haven't. so let's move right on to One Piece, chapter 956. Big news! Oh my god, big news! Big news Morgans! Oh my god, we're finally gonna get him! Okay, I'm actually super oh, I should really stop this. Okay. So, first of all, what's happening here? Oh no, I just realized. I was talking yesterday with Dylan, with my boyfriend, about One Piece in general, and he'd already read this chapter, I hadn't. But I brought up that, last week we had Act 2 of Wano, the ending of Act 2 of Wano. And okay, see ya for in a bit, eyebrow. I'll update like what we're doing in the chat, so if you want to like just pause it and then come back later for Dr. Stone, or I guess just Dr. Stone. Is that all we have left? But anyways, catch you on the flip side. What was I just saying? Oh yes, I was saying that we might have a cut back to the Reverie. I don't know if it's going to be like literally back to where we last left off, like after the meeting, or if it's going to be like actually after the Reverie, because we've spent like an entire week in Wano, and the Reverie was only meant to be a week, so we could be just at the end or even beyond it. But either way, that's bad news for me, because I'm so bad at remembering what's going on in the world of One Piece. So, like, are these recurring characters? I don't know. Is this Dressrosa? I don't know. Who is this? Why does this person know Lola? Anyways, I am very excited for some more big news, though. Ryugu Palace, Ryugu Kingdom, Fishman Islands. Okay, so they're already back. So yeah, I guess the Reverie must have just ended. I mean, yeah, the Reverie always seems to result in chaos. I imagine that's what happens when you only bring together like all the big kingdoms in the entire world like once every couple of years to catch up and figure out what to do. Gotta really do that more often. Oh yeah, I forgot that Hitler was canon. Differences in wealth and region will ensure that kings are never truly equals. That's a good line. It's actually a really good One Piece line. How many kings can actually speak equally for both their own people and others? A round table indeed. Okay, this meeting was a bad one. Okay. Following the close of the Reverie, something happened just after we left. Okay, so, like, I guess this means that, like, the big theory was that the revolutionaries were going to attack, like, during the Reverie. Like, they were going to try and kill actual, like, heads of states. I assume that didn't happen because they would be talking about that, right? Like, there's no way they wouldn't be. But maybe they tried to do something right at the very end. Like, especially because Fishman Island, it's the long trip, and they're, fishmen are discriminated against. Like, maybe they chose to leave a bit early. For now, I beg of you, don't be fearful of the surface and of human beings. Don't be fearful of human beings. That is, I mean, it makes sense considering the context of, of Fishman Islands. The fact that they are just, in general, very wary of the surface. Like, it took this long, and it took Shirahoshi's mother just to get to this point where they're willing to, to go to the Reverie and to, talk and to try and make peace. But, what in the world happens? Regarding the Kingdom of Alabasta. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, so I guess this is going to be our big news. Oh, no. Okay, I get it. So, it stands 1 week after the conclusion of the Reverie. However, they're going to jump backwards, maybe to the actual conclusion of the Reverie, to see what's going on. There's been a fatality. Okay. The vote results are fantabulous too, and an attempted murder. Thrilling stuff. Okay, so, there's been a fatality and an attempted murder, so those are two separate things. So, one person is 100% dead, and then it might be a situation where, like, one of the revolutionaries tried to kill someone and they got killed instead. Also, do we really need a reintro for Morgans? Can anyone forget Morgans? I say that as someone who frequently forgets One Piece characters, so never mind, we do need a reintroduction for Morgans. Double A ones? Is that legally possible? I mean, I guess it is. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't, it's just you're eliminating the back page. Which in most papers, I guess, isn't that important, but I don't know. In One Piece specifically, the back page is usually pretty important. Because half the time when someone's reading the paper, we're looking at the back page, and it's usually saying something like, One Piece found. I don't think they've ever said One Piece found, but, something like that. It's always been important. Yowza, get a gander at the digits on this check. He speaks like someone from the 40s, I love it. Okay. It's that journalistic integrity, alright. It's Cypher Paul. This gives me. Never mind, never mind. Also, did we really need a transition for this? Because it did happen right afterwards, and we're seeing like the blams and the eeks and whatnot. Like, did we really need a transition? Clearly, he just beat up this guy. It's not like we're moving between two separate scenes, or even like we're moving between a long span of time. He just beat the guy up. Why did we transition? I may be a money-hungry Scrooge, but first and foremost, I'm a journalist. As the DJ of the printed page. Is that... I like Big News Morgans more than Morgan's DJ of the printed page. That's a bad epithet. It's also a strange analogy. I mean, it does work, but it feels weird because it's like... I guess because, like, it's not that music is a newer medium than the printed word. Like, no, it's older, but, like, the idea of a DJ is inherently much newer than, like, a newspaper. So it feels weird that he's using it as an analogy. Okay, King Wapol's got some leaked intel. Okay, so including the incident the government set yeah, right. But also the king's vote, the resulting incidents, there, you know, like, he was still going to do the murder, still going to do the attempted murder. You're kidding, Sabo. Huh. Okay, so I thought for a moment he was talking to Sabo, but no. This is Sabo we're talking about. It's impossible. I won't believe a word of it. So was Sabo the killer or the one who was killed? I assume the killer. Like, I imagine that would be like, that would definitely make them freak out if Sabo was captured. Especially, you know, like in a post-Ace world. Actually, that would be so poetic. We had another moment that was like Sabo being drawn up by the world government. It's back in... They're at New Marineford. They're getting ready to execute him. Like, I could see it happening, like, legitimately. And we've lost contact with all of them. So, like, they can't even say, like, you know, is this true or not? So, it might be that, you know, Sabo specifically was captured and the rest ran away, or, you know, / you know, retreated. Dragon is sweating. Sorry, I just saw Zaku's Hispanic chopper statements. But yeah, that's true. We've never seen him that freaked out before. And what he's saying specifically is he was in Marijoa, not he was killed in Marijoa, or, you know, he tried to attack another king or something. But then again, like, it might be that, you know, he's saying my brother, and then afterwards he would have immediately reacted to whatever it is he did. So never mind. I guess that doesn't tell us much. God Makino, we have her mysterious child, which I've never really been, like, super into the who is her child theory, or, you know, question here, but maybe, Like, is it Sabo's kid? I assume not, because he's, like, blonde. I mean, never mind, no, Sabo's blonde. Never mind, okay, I guess that might be the implication then. Because he's also going, da, da. Is that Sabo's kid then? Never mind, I did a full 180. Sabo's first accomplishment after getting the fire fruit is getting captured. I mean, not wrong. I wasn't considering that at all. Like, the parallel of, you know, like, him being captured and executed again would work really well as another, like, you know, Luffy's gotta run again, except this time he's gotta run from the new, from, you know, the second half of the New World all the way back to save Sabo. But being the user of the fire fruit would also be pretty great. I mean, do you think Jesus Burgess would, you know, maybe step back on the whole idea of eating the fruit if he saw two different people both using the fruit who both got executed? That'd feel like it'd be cursed. No, don't you bring Norman back into this. Oh yeah, that's really a 180 for these guys. Like, yeah, they didn't even know he was alive, and he's already gonna be dead again. But then again, like, I've been assuming that he's captured. Maybe he was executed. I don't think so. Like, I know I'm going very metatextual for that, but it doesn't feel like that would be the case. It would feel too weird if he was just immediately killed. He has to be, like, captured. It has to be that he's the one who tried to attempt murder. But then who actually died? Or I guess it could be both, actually. Because, like, wait, did they say attempted murder, or is that something I made up? Where is this? Yeah, he did say attempted murder. Okay. If the Navy's only going to take it, I may as well claim the prize. If the Navy's only going to take it. Or maybe he's saying, like, if the Navy's only going to take it, like, as if, like it's a waste if the Navy takes it, therefore he's going to take it. But then what is he taking? I mean, again, it feels like it's going to be, new Marineford. Like, he's just packing his bags, he's gonna go grab Jesus, and they're going to go back and wait until he dies, and then steal the fruits. Hey, Kobe's back. Okay. I was just talking, actually, about how, like, I'm excited to see what the Straw Hats get up to when they leave Wano. Because, for all intents and purposes, Wano is separate from the entire world. Like, it is literally separate from the entire world. But you could also take it as if, the Straw Hats are, like, locked in time. Because nothing else is gonna come in. Like, they don't have to worry about the news, they don't have to worry about the Marines. When they leave, they're going to go into the world. They're going to go into the new world as if, everything's the same as it was before. So, if something really big happens, like if something shakes the entire foundations of what they know and love, it's gonna be a real biggie. Also, I guess we still don't know how Devil Fruit transference works, but it seems to be, it's the moment they die. So why would Blackbeard assume that the Marines don't have the fruit already? Like, the Marines have been super into just taking fruits and putting them into random garbage. So why wouldn't he just be like, oh, well, I guess the fire fruit is just gone now because the Marines put it in a trash can. They made a trash can that burns trash. Okay, well, I mean, it's a bit of a shocker, but I can't say I'm that surprised by it. Like, oh boy, the guy whose entire characterization was he ran away from the Marines didn't actually run away from the Marines. He's also a Marine. Ooh, so he's the captain of Sword. I hope they're more competent than the Marvel version of Sword. As for Straw Hat Luffy, the situation is stagnant. Right. Oh yeah, that would actually be a really big deal, wouldn't it? Like, I remembered that CP0 was there, chatting with Orochi, but I didn't consider the whole idea of, oh yeah, like, if the world government doesn't know that CP0 is there, then that's a real big deal. Though, to be fair, we don't know exactly what Sword is. Like, maybe Sword is meant to be coverts. Like, maybe they are doing, like, something separate from what the world government wants. Maybe. The one onion skit, but it's the Marines, and it's a devil fruit hole. Hot damn, so he did actually, he got a promotion. He's the Rear Admiral. Or Navy Headquarters Rear Admiral, member of Sword. Okay. Yeah, it is legitimately really, really satisfying to see him growing up. He's a big boy now. Also, I guess this actually reads Rear Admiral, member of Sword. Like, he's not a Rear Admiral, Rear Admiral. What? Why is this a problem for me? Why can't I not say this? Admiral, like admire. Admiral. Anyways, it's not saying that he has this rank and also he's a member of Sword. It's the same as, he's the top secret special force captain of Sword. He's the Rear Admiral member of Sword. God, oh boy. I actually don't know. What is a Rear Admiral? Ranking above Commodore and below Vice Admiral. Let's see. It is generally regarded as the lowest of the Admiral ranks, which are also sometimes referred to as flag officers or flag ranks. Okay. So, yeah, he's above captain status. That's pretty amazing, but he's the lowest of the highest. He's the lowest Admiral possible. Listen, I have no problem with the Rear. I am a master of the Rear. You don't want to question my devotion to the Rear. It's the Admiral that I'm having a problem with. Huh. And that also screws them up too, because regardless of where Sword ranks, CP9 was the big secret service that is above the normal Navy, and then CP0 is above CP9. So I guess they have to be well above wherever Sword is, whatever Sword is. That means that they can't make any big moves, because if they screw up whatever CP0 wants to do, they're the ones that are working against the world government in that case. Or I guess they're working against the Navy, not against the world government, but still. Wait, what? Kobe, what? Sorry, I was too busy talking about nonsense to realize what he just said. He's gonna capture Hancock? Right. They did say before that, Vegapunk invented something that would result in the end of the Warlord system. So I guess that's what's happening right now. The Navy's just making this big move to scoop up all the Warlords now. Which, by the way, I do really like the theory of it's just warlords, but they're pacifistas. Like, instead of them all being Kuma pacifistas, now we have, like, a pacifista type for every single warlord that looks like them, has the same abilities, but then they also have, like, one of the admiral abilities. Or one of the classic ones, like, you know, like magma, ice, and lights. Like, I think that'd be really cool. It'd be interesting to see, like, you know, which of them gets which power. What does Buggy get? What does Buggy get? I don't know. Buggy feels like he would have lights. Or, you know, the Buggy Pacifista feels like it would have lights. Just because it's very, like, showy. Yeah, we are real close. I mean, the big question is, like, will Kobe stop at being an admiral, or will he go above? Is he gonna be leading the world government by the time he finally fights Luffy? I mean, I don't think so. I feel like he'll stop at Admiral, he'll fight Luffy, and then maybe going forward, he'll be, like, wherever Sengoku used to be. What was Sengoku? But I think, like, you know, in, like, you know, the time skip, the inevitable time skip at the end of the series, he'll be the one leading the Navy, Luffy will be the Pirate King, and they'll be, like, clashing. Or they'll be doing that thing where, you know, like, Luffy's actually the one clashing, and Kobe's at headquarters, like, eating burgers or something. And saying, like, ah, yikes, Luffy, that scoundrel, he got away again. Also, yeah, you're right, never mind. I don't know why I assumed the pacifistas had the pawpaw fruit. No, they just had replicas of the light fruit. Or not even replicas of the fruit, they just had lasers. Lasers that were based on the light fruits. Huh, that actually changes things quite a bit, because, like, I mean, it depends on the warlord. Like, there's somewhere it's extremely important that they have what the ability they have. Like, Hancock is, like, she is a strong martial artist, but a lot of her power comes from her Conqueror's Haki and from her, you know, her ability to freeze men, or turn men to stone. Like, a pacifista that just has her fighting ability would be real weird. Like, it wouldn't be that useful. And then even if you added that to a, you know, like, having ice abilities or having magma abilities, like, I don't know if that would gel very well. I wonder what else could be then. Because, like, if we're thinking about it, like, let's just use Hancock as an example. It's not that useful to have just a copy of Hancock. Like, without the Island of Women, without, you know, her political power, without her, like, actual ability to captivate the hearts of men. Like, what else really is the purpose of that? Like, the pacifistas beforehand made a lot of sense as just, like, you know, they chose Kuma because, you know, it's Kuma, he was willing to give up all of his data, so sure, why not? And, you know, it's just a big, strong physical design, too. So never mind. I guess my theory of it being, like, individual replicas of each of the warlords doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus, we've, like, shuffled through a lot of warlords as of late. So, like, that would also make it very, like, which lineup do you choose? Do you choose the classic lineup? Do you choose the most modern lineup? Do you choose, like, whatever? Like, what would it be? Yeah. So I guess it might just be, you know, the simple answer of, we were replacing the warlords with just more pacifistas. Like, just the Kuma types. Why not? But still, like, it was specifically, they said that Vegapunk made a breakthrough. That's why I started this whole train in the first place. Because I was like, well, you know, what breakthrough could Vegapunk have made that now makes the warlords obsolete? So if it's not being able to copy them, what else would it be? Like, it might just be better pacifistas, but, like, it's gotta be something specific, and I can't think of anything that's, like, a specific, like, this makes them so much better than what they were before. Apart from just, I don't know, like, better AI, I guess? Perhaps? Or maybe, actually, what he's doing is what he did to Kuma. Like, instead of having them be complete robots, like, he's going to remodel them, like, he's going to remodel, like, normal human beings into being the pacifistas. Because that way they have, like, they're not just robots. They have critical thinking skills. They can react and change and grow. And then if you just install Devil Fruit powers into them, that would make them very dangerous. Ooh, that'd be cool, actually, because, like, again, like, it's not like he replicated the light fruit. He just replicated Kizaru's, like, beams. Which are, like, you know, like, that's just a thing you can do. That's just a physical, you know, manifestation of energy. But if he's been able to, like, because also zones wouldn't really work because as we've seen before, like, it wouldn't even have to be smiles. It could just be, like, normal fruits. Yeah, because that would explain why CP0 is here if they're stealing smiles, or, you know, like, they have a deal to take a certain proportion of smiles for a certain purpose. Especially now that I think about it, because we don't know how smiles are made, and we know that Kaido only wants Zoans. So actually, they could just be harvesting all the non-Zoan ones for the world governments. But what I was thinking is, like, the world government has a lot of money, so they could just get normal, like, devil fruits in general, and put them into the pacifistas. But, like, with Smiles, you can make an infinite number of, a certain given ability, which makes a lot of sense if the government wants to say, like, hey, this is a good ability, let's standardize it. In the same way that, like, the various pacifistas all had the laser beams, because that's just a generally good ability to give a giant robot. That would also be, if they had to clone anyone else, I'd say probably Akainu, because Akainu is, like, he has that big, I guess he's not really working with them right now, though, but, no, he is, right? Because I'm thinking that, like, Akainu's design would have a really strong social cache. Like, he's the guy who donutted Ace. So, like, if you were to choose anyone, you would be like, well, why not copy his ability? Copy the Magma. Magma also works really well for a giant, bulky guy. Or, giant, bulky robots. And then have Magma powers. Because, that's the power that killed the son of the King of the Pirates. So, like, if it works on him, why wouldn't it work on anyone else? It's the Magma so hot it can kill even fire. Oh my god. What if they execute Sabo by having a pacifista that is designed after, I keep forgetting his name, Akainu. Like, what if they just, instead of doing, the blade thing at all, what if they just kill him the way Akainu killed Ace? Like, as a way to show the world, like, hey, we can do this to anyone. We did this to the first guy who had the fire fruits, or, with the latest guy, we're doing it to this one as well. It doesn't matter who picks this up, if you're a pirate, we'll donut you. Anyways, I can't believe I spent so long on this one page. Right, the dissolution of the Seven Warlord system. I mean, they did a lot in the whole Paramount War, but at the same time... Like, as long as they have a system that works better, that's the only thing. Like, I imagine if you say something like this, a lot of people would freak out if you didn't immediately say, by the way, this is what we're replacing it with. Or we're going to just arrest all of them immediately. Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense, because, yeah, they were both very screwed over by warlords in almost, not the exact same way, but in very similar ways. Like, of course, they would go up together and say, hey, this sucks. This is not a good time. I mean... If there was a king of, the island that Mihawk owns, he'd probably also be there, but he's not, because I assume Mihawk killed him. Oh no. Yeah, Buggy's gonna be pretty upset about this. By the way, if they were doing pacifistas of each of the different warlords, I would really want Buggy to be one of them, because, like, oh boy, what was his name? The guy from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, the one of the three wins that could, like, split himself apart. I think you could do something really cool with, like, a cyborg Buggy. Something like that. That'd be super dope. Also, I don't know why I assume that Akainu wouldn't do it. For some reason, I've had this idea in my head that Akainu is just, like, chilling for a bit, but no, like, he's still part of the Navy. Like, he's doing fine. Never mind. I guess they would just have him come back out. But I don't know, like, I feel like it would be more impactful if it was a pacifista with his power. Because, like, my idea is that, they would be mass-produced, so it'd be like, hey, there's one of these by you. It'd be the same thing as saying, like, like, guns aren't dangerous, look at this, I'm going to kill this this criminal with a gun. In the same way, it'd be like, hey, every country in the world now has a copy of Akainu who can punch, pirates in the stomach. So in that case, let's watch this copy of Akainu also punch this man in the stomach, in order to show off how strong our stomach punching technology is. We're gonna fight like hell. Oh boy. In the meantime, I'm gonna skedaddle. It's the classic rider/buggy skedaddle. Monsoon, yes, it was Monsoon. Man, imagine two people more separate than Monsoon and Buggy. Very similar powers, extremely different in every other way. Oh yeah, his kingdom was called the Muggy Kingdom, I forgot about that. I mean, of all the warlords, I imagine Mihawk is going to be, like, the least upset by this. Like, this is fine. This is just him. Oh boy. We still know so little about him. The only thing we knew about him for the longest time was just, he is a warlord now, I guess, and he's pretending to be, or, he may or may not be Whitebeard's kid. Probably not. And now it's just, well, he's also not a warlord anymore, so now what is he? What is this character? Why is he here? Ah, yes, I forgot. The riders get out. I mean, you're assuming that Buggy's not going to be winning when he decides to run away. That feels like a very Buggy move of, well, I put together a team that is going to win, but I don't trust them, so I'm going to run away anyways. Because then that would also, like, that would also cement the Buggy legend of, the commander wasn't even there. He was off somewhere else, beating up someone else, and yet we still managed to win. Yeah, he's extremely forgettable. He barely exists. So I'm very curious to see what they'll do with him, if anything. Ah, you seem to have forgotten something. The reason they chose us to be the Seven Warlords was for our strength. And crucially, she's wearing her normal outfit. She's not wearing the what was it again? The Stampede outfits. So we're definitely not tying into Stampede. Like, which I do love. I mean, they already said before that was going to be non-canon, but you never know, right? So, real happy that it does seem like it's going to be a totally standalone thing. Look up the cover of chapter 592. Sure. One Piece. I actually could. No, I don't want to try and do a voice search while I'm recording. That might be bad. Chapter 592. What am I looking at? Oh my god! I'm so dumb. Okay, so, So he's at the very least a member of Sword, or at least that's the implication. Huh. Okay, real good catch! Holy crap. I did not... Whoa. It's also right there in the middle of the panel, too. And I mean, like, it's not like it's a crazy thing. Like, of course, there's no context for it. Why would anyone point that as being a big thing? But I wonder then, like, is he still leading Sword then? Or is it something else? Like, is Sword completely separate? Also, did Sword ever come up before? I just want to check that just in case. First appearance, chapter 498. 498? Or wait. No, that's 592. When did it show up in 498? Or are they just saying, like, that's the first time that's, like, like, a character from Sword showed up? No, in that case, that would have been, like, chapter 1. Oh my god, I didn't consider that, because, like, we never bring up the term, Cyberpol Aegis Zero. I always think of it as just CP0. But that is really cool. So I wonder if that's, like, is it an intentional sword and shield thing? Like, are they meant to be two halves of the same whole? Or is this going to be just, like, general, like, thematic shadowing of, CP0 is working in the darkness, they're doing a bunch of stuff that Sword doesn't know about, and Sword's going to be fighting against them, / they're theoretically working together, but they're also coming into conflicts. I mean, this is also the One Piece wiki, so that might have just been a random thing brought up. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I get it. It's because that's the first appearance of Drake. But I mean, if you're going to do that, like, if you're going to say that the first appearance of Sword was the first time that Drake showed up, then I feel like you could use the same logic to justify the first appearance of Sword being the first time Kobe shows up. What do I want to have happen? Because I do agree. I like Kobe. I like Hancock. I think, honestly, like, Kobe capturing Hancock wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because he is a nice guy, and depending on how Sword's doing things, like, it's possible that they'll subdue her, but they won't, like, do anything bad to her. Like, they might also keep the Amazons, like, protected in some way. Like, they might just say, it's a crime scene, don't go here, and that would still, like, keep them isolated. But then that wouldn't stop, like, random pirates from pillaging them is the problem, right? But that's the thing, like, I think that her being captured would be the best, because otherwise, other Marines are just gonna keep on attacking. Like, she can't just take her crew and go, because her crew is the islands. She wants to protect the islands. I think if she surrenders, then maybe she would be able to, like, secure some sort of protection for the islands. I could see that happening. Like, that last panel implies that she's gonna keep on fighting, but I think that might be a misdirect. I mean, I feel like they might have to worry about random pirates. Because, like, they are very strong, but also, if Hancock's not on the island, they don't have the instance, stopping her thing. I mean, they are really strong, but then again, like, I mean, to be fair, the scale of how strong a random pirate is has, like, it's not that it's changed throughout the series, it's just that we've been seeing stronger and stronger pirates. But, realistically, you are right. The average pirate in One Piece is extremely weak. Like, they're, barely, like, Luffy... They're barely Luffy, like, in East Blue tier. Most of them are around that level. Like, they get exceptional pretty dang quickly. So, like, the unexceptional ones pose no threat. It really just comes down to, like, is a really big, is a big boy going to attack the islands? Oh no, I just realized, actually. Like, yeah, best case is impel down. Worst case is they realize that she is, in fact, a slave. Like, they look at her back, and then they just give her to one of the, like, they would have to have some sort of, like, super powerful restraining bolt or something to stop her from just, murdering everyone, but I don't want to see her as, like, a slave or, like, as a plaything for one of the Celestial Dragons. That would crush my soul. But yeah, also, the reason they put Doflamingo and Impel down was that, they couldn't kill him, but they also didn't want him to talk to anyone, so they had to, like, super duper isolate him. I don't think they would do that with Hancock. I mean, there's also the other option if she just skedaddles, which is completely possible. I mean, if she's gonna achieve her dream of marrying Luffy, she's gotta be out there. Honestly, I would prefer having her be lobotomized than having her be, like, a re-slaved person, again, once more. I know it's a bit extreme, but still, like, that was a rough existence. Whereas, like, I mean, Kuma's doing fine. He got one last thing before he got fully lobotomized. He seems like he's having a fine time. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but, like, it's not deep suffering. Anyways, I feel like I'm going to dig myself into a deeper hole if we keep on going with this, so I think we'll cut it off there. This was not as scary a chapter as I thought it was going to be. I recognized most of the characters in it. I'm sure, I remember Don specifically mentioning a character he didn't recognize until, like, later on. So, I don't know who it is, but I assume it's just probably this guy, actually. This is probably a character we've seen before whose name I don't recognize. Or, I mean, there's a lot of side characters here, actually, so it could be any of them. I mean, I feel like child genocide is real bad. It's much worse than one woman, like, keep in mind, it's a choice between being lobotomized or, suffering under one of the, which, I mean, I guess, to be fair, it could be a temporary thing. Like, we're not saying that she's going to be there forever. She could be saved from the Celestial Dragons, so I guess it's less permanent than lobotomy. So I guess I do see where you're coming from. Like, I wasn't quite thinking of it under the idea of she could be saved at some points. The fact that there is hope does mean that, I guess, that is better. Like, she'll have to really, stuff down that pride. And then there's her sisters, too. Like, I imagine that might be bad. But yeah. Okay, never mind. I do still think that, child murder is much worse than lobotomy. Lobotomizing one woman. One woman who is of consensual age. Who is, consenting to the lobotomy. But I do agree now that, yeah, it probably would be better if she was taken by one of the Celestial Dragons, temporarily. No, Zaku, stop! No, bad. Real bad. Anyways, that's One Piece. Fantastic chapter. Like, again, this was, like, it's the perfect sort of reverie-ish chapter, in which, in that, it's a lot of world history, it's a lot of, like, jumping around, but it all felt good. And we got, like, reveals that felt impactful. It wasn't just, hey, here's a thing that exists, here's a character that you saw 500 chapters ago. Like, it did feel substantial. I did enjoy it. And I do hope we stick around with this for a little longer. Like, 2 or 3 chapters. I don't want to jump into Wano that suddenly. Like, I don't really want to follow up on all of this stuff, sure, but, like, I'd like to see, like, how all the warlords deal with it a little bit. Like, not Mihawk, for instance. Like, we understand what Mihawk's gonna do. He's just gonna run. It's fine. We don't need to see any more of that. But, like, I'd like to see a bit of a follow-up here. Maybe a little follow-up on Weevil. Like, figure out what's going on here. What's going on with his situation. But anyways, that's One Piece. Where am I putting it? I already copied it, right? I'm already, I mean, it was no Black Clover. It was no Chainsaw Man. It was, I do think Promised Neverland was better. It was a good chapter, but, like, it wasn't better than the Promised Neverland. I do think it was better than Mitama Security. Like, in terms of just, like, pure content. Like, there was more that I could sink my teeth into. I had more fun with it. I've been talking for a lot longer about it. Yeah, I'm surprised too. Like, I thought the last arc was really good, but I guess it was too bleachy for me in terms of, like, sheer action. Whereas, like, this current arc, the falling action, I suppose, or, like, this is a less actiony arc than the previous one, but, like, there's been a lot of, like, exploring the world and more, like, it's been more like the Reverie, actually. Like, in terms of just, like, here's some stuff, let's talk about this, let's address this, let's, delve into this character. Which I really like. It's been real good for me. I've really been enjoying it. I mean, if you're gonna make some cursed edits on my channel, there's a lot of content. I've said some very cursed things. I've done cursed things. Uh, boy, oh boy. Anyways, we've got one more series. Does anyone know why My Hero Academia is on like not hiatus, but like it's not on this week? Does anyone know why? Did Horikoshi get sick again? I hope he's okay. Like, can't really change anything now. But yeah, it's a little concerning. Anyways, next we've got Dr. Stone, Z equals 122. Brain Battle Puzzle Pieces. Brain Battle Puzzle Pieces. Also, speaking of waists that are thinner than heads, I mean, yeah, that's not even a joke. That's just factual, right? This waist goes from here to here. And then if we move it up, where's my cursor? Yeah, that is factually a head that is, very slightly, like if you include the ears, that's definitely bigger. A head that is bigger than her waist. That is wild. Also, like, I get why they, why they didn't, like, make actual clothing for Kaseki, but come on. You couldn't have made a little more for Yuzuriha than just wrapping some seaweed around her? Taijo. Although, again, I do understand this. Like, it's not even a, he doesn't want to confess thing. It's specifically that she's basically naked. They put some seaweed on her, but she's essentially naked. There's no way that seaweed has good, like, bra supports. Or, like, support equaling a bra. See, like, even the hover hand, I think, is, like, unconscionably bad. Because it doesn't affect anything. It's just rough. It's just a bad time. But I get why he didn't hug her here. Her thighs are thicker than her head. Just how I like them geared. It's a strong line. It's a strong quote. Actually, can I really let you guys get away with that? I'm gonna put that in quotes. Boop. Oh no, I screwed up. Captured the wrong thing. There we are. It's been a long time since I've taken something from the live chat and put it in quotes. But, like, I feel like that's worth it. Yuzuri had scars, right? But where were they? I legitimately don't remember. Like, now she definitely won't, but... Also, what is she wearing on her head? I believe those are plastic headphones, right? Like, they're plastic headphones that just survived because, plastic doesn't decompose. I think that's gotta be it, right? But they did turn to stone with her, and then they turned back. Right? Or am I incorrect? No, they didn't turn to stone, right? They were still white when she was solid. Like, when she was made of stone. Like, they were just on top of her. I've always just assumed they were made of stone because, Dr. Stone. But I guess they must be plastic then. Also, yeah, without her, they must have really, really been pushed. Like, maybe that's why they had to only do seaweed. Because, like, they spent most of their time very, very carefully putting her together. Because if they screwed up, if they, put something in the wrong place and it didn't heal right, that's it. Like, if she can't put people together, then they're screwed. They need her on their side. Oh, and she can also make clothing, too. Ah, Chrome, you nerd. It's the classic. It's been so long since we've had the happy bad, horrified bad. Oh, it's so nostalgic. I guess that makes sense. Like, I think of him mostly as the hearing guy, but to be fair, Ukyo is he was on a submarine when he was a teenager. Like, an actual military submarine, so he definitely has an understanding of 3D space. Okay. Someone's swimming towards us. Okay. I thought it was going to be, like, some random, like, person from the village, but okay, so it is Amaryllis. And he saw, which, depending on how much he saw, maybe he's gonna be able to track them to here. But at the same time, like, I don't, I'm not saying that it's bad of her to have come here if he could track her. Like, they needed to know this information. If it means leading one man to this cave, then that's fine. Like, I feel like the team as they are right now could probably take him down. Maybe. I don't know. He is very strong, and he has those Dr. Stone martial arts of, I don't know what's happening. So I can't really gauge whether he's stronger or weaker than anyone, I mean, I can actually. Like, they don't have any martial artists that are currently revived. They don't have any fighters right now. Like, there's Taiju, but Taiju doesn't fight, so I guess they are kind of boned. See, in this shot, I can see why you would look at him and think like, oh, he doesn't look like the Master very much, but I do think in the less cartoony shots, he looks a lot like the Master. Plus, like, this shot like shows his upturned nose, which is very weird. Whereas, like, if you see it like dead on like this, he has the same nose, he has the same like weird flanges at the end of the nose, he has the same ears. It's very, very clear. All right, we'll wage a brain battle. The term brain battle is pretty wild. Also, where am I? Where am I? I don't know why I always kind of like go towards the mic. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't too far in that direction. I mean, I guess, but that feels like a big thing to assume. Like, I would have just said, like, you know, it's a petrification weapon that you can reuse, but that doesn't mean they necessarily only have one. Going off Dirabara Sekal. Okay, please explain. Okay, that's a cool way of putting it. Like, they're not saying, oh, Chrome's dumb, let's explain how this all works to Chrome. They're saying specifically, like, okay, like, let's bring in Chrome because he doesn't understand immediately what's going on. Like, he'll be able to give us a better perspective, or, like, a different perspective. But then again, we don't know that he doesn't have one. Like, it's possible that he doesn't, like, it's possible that he doesn't, but, I don't know, it feels like a bit of a stretch. Like, I do appreciate this. Like, yeah, Ibarra has Kirasame do the deed. That doesn't mean, though, that he doesn't have, like, another one just on hand, or, like, in a bunker or something. Well, I guess, no, it does confirm, like, you know, the fact that we don't see anyone else besides her doing it implies that there's only one, that, like, you know, he didn't give it to someone else. Like, he doesn't have multiple throwers. Huh. Actually, never mind. That is pretty solid, then. Because then, like, it still doesn't rule out the possibility of him having one, but then instead of like he might have it just so if Amaryllis loses the first one, or she's already thrown it and she can't get it back, like he has the second one. Huh. But that's actually very shaky. Never mind. Like, this isn't 100%, but it is a really good conclusion. It's shaky enough that I could see it being twisted around. Right? Yeah, it activated above Kohaku and Genro. I mean, she's always done it above the person in question. Oh, I see. Right. Kirasame doesn't know that the Master's a statue. Yeah, because, like, it would have been, like, she still must have had faith that, of course, like, you know, I can make this shot, sure. But even then, like, if she didn't realize what was going on, like, Kohaku could have jumped, and then by jumping, like, she would have gotten out of range. It was specifically, like, it would have been a smarter idea to just throw it at the Master if she knew that the Master was a statue. Okay, so... but he did follow Amaryllis. Okay, well then. Also, wasn't it Mozu? Like, it doesn't have, like, a little line here indicating that, like, she was cut off. Right? Right? I mean, am I wrong? I could have sworn it was Mozu before. It's the second part of the brain battle. The how do we brain battle against someone with a spear who is about to kill us with Dr. Stone martial arts? Okay, so it was Mozu before. Yeah, that is real weird. I do like that, though. Like, I generally, like, I don't really like it when it's inconsistent when I'm, you know, I don't enjoy things that are inconsistent as I'm reading them. But I do appreciate whenever, especially an official release, is willing to be inconsistent. Like, when they're willing to say, we screwed this up, and going forward, we're going to do it correctly. Like, I do genuinely, like, I get why, for One Piece, they're keeping all of the bad translations from the starts, like, going forward. But it feels so, like, defeatist. Like, there's so many re-releases of the old, volumes. At some point, they could have just retranslated them and then just said, like, okay, these are the official translations now. And especially with the simulpubs, like, because these aren't the translations that go into the volumes themselves. Like, they do, like, go over them once more. They do, like, try and fix things and tweak things. They properly, like, retypeset everything. Like, because of that, I'm happy that in these, they can be even more dynamic than the volumes. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, I didn't consider that. Like, I'm down to this part. Like, yeah, Genro's cover was blown. Because, yeah, so... either he wanted Ibarra to maybe get assassinated, or he knew that Genro wouldn't be able to do it, which is very possible. Or at the very least... huh. Okay, so that's what our conclusion is. I was wondering if there was, like, a third option or something, but no, it is Maz doesn't care if Ibarra dies. Okay. I do wish they would stop calling it brain battle puzzle pieces. I can't handle a brain battle. The brain battle is real rough. Okay. So first of all, strong fight. The slimy tongue versus the actual physical weapon that can kill people. And yeah, that does make sense. Like they just went with the Romanization that was actually done, which is all right. Like again, One Piece is the weird like outlier in this, in that even the simulpubs, like what was it again? Like the spelling of Mary Joa is Mary Goes. Yet in the simulpub, like when this was when this came up during the the first referee spin-off bits, they actually did go in and remove Oda writing Mary Joes, and they rewrote it as Mary Joa, which is like so above and beyond. So like if they really desperately wanted to, they could have added a U in. Actually, I guess that would have been extra weird though, because that would have actually covered up actual art there. Overall, solid chapter of Dr. Stone. Not the best. Wasn't a big fan of the brain battle thing, but I do appreciate that Dr. Stone will do stuff like that. Like, they'll just do a chapter where it's like, okay, here's the gimmick of the chapter. Or, like, here's just what we're doing. It keeps things fresh. It means that we don't have to go over the same processes over and over again whenever a concept is brought up or whenever something happens. Like, the series stays fresh. Plus, like, depending on how iconic the moment is, I can then, like, refer to it back later on. It's like, oh yeah, you remember that moment where they were doing that goof? I'm not sure if the brain battle is going to be, like, that big going forward, but who knows? Maybe. Maybe in 100 chapters we'll be talking about, Maz is like, the biggest member of the crew, Senku's best friend, and we'll be like, oh yeah, remember the brain battle when they won him over? Anyways, that's Dr. Stone. I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. It's a good arc. I've been enjoying it overall, but, there's not a lot to say about this specifically. I do feel like this was intentionally, like, I think they're jumping a little too far. I think they might have, like, there is the potential for another petrification weapon, or at the very least, like, petrification technology, maybe. Like, maybe not the weapon, but, like, something else that has the same thing. I don't know, because, like, the very existence of this is so weird. Like, this can't be the one that froze the entire world, because A, that's probably in South America. B, why would that be, like, why would this one be in Japan? That's the weirdest part of all. Like, especially because their seafaring technology barely allows them, like, would have barely allowed them to get to, where the Kingdom of Science currently is. Like, to get to Ishigami Village. Like, that was a one-time deal. It's like, there's no way that they could have gotten to South America. So, like, how did this end up in Japan? I think it could be as simple as, like, it's a freak accident. They just kind of found it. It fell from space. But I don't know. Anyways, that's Dr. Stone. That's enough dilly-dallying. Let's jump into those author comments after I rank this. I feel like, I don't know. It wasn't as good as The Promised Neverland. I didn't enjoy it quite that much. And I don't think I enjoyed it as much as One Piece, which is honestly a rarity. I usually put Dr. Stone above One Piece, but I feel like One Piece was a very standout chapter with a lot of fun things that I really, really enjoyed. So, that makes sense. Maybe this one did the birds. Zaku! The birds were like all the birds in the sky. Like, there were tons of, like, posts on Twitter about birds, like, all over the place. Like, specifically those one sparrows, but people were just calling them birds. Like, being frozen. You can't do that with this if the range is this small, right? Or one of the astronauts had it. Was there a traitor amongst the astronauts? That would actually be a crazy move. Oh man, what if Ishigami Village has a secret group inside of it that is the, the people that turned everyone to stone? What if there's a secret stone cabal? I don't really believe that myself. Anyways, that's everything. That's Jump. Let's read those author comments and get out of here. I'm so shocked at my ability to absentmindedly lose things I was just holding that I could... I'm so shocked at my ability to absentmindedly lose things I was just holding that I get sharp pains in my right knee. What? What does this mean? What does this mean? Like, it seems like what he's saying is that he's so shocked that he does lose things sometimes. And because of that shock, whenever he thinks about it, his knee hurts. Is that it? Is that what he's trying to get across? Also, I didn't say author comments. Whoops. I keep on forgetting that Koyoharu Gotsuke is in fact a girl. Yes, please remind me every single time. I am extremely disappointed in myself because of that. Like, especially because I have been enjoying Kimetsu so much, like, the anime at the very least. Like, I do want to respect the fact that she is a female mangaka that is doing obscenely well in Jump. You know, I don't think I've ever had, I mean, are mackerel pike different from mackerel? Or are they the same thing? Okay, I've heard of Saori before. I don't think I've ever had them, but okay, so they are different from normal mackerel. Can't say I've ever been that into it, but eh. Oda continuing to have a life? It's still so weird. It's been like over a year or two since he's been putting out these author comments in which he's been saying things like, hey, I've been to here, or I've been here. And it still catches me so off guard that he is like living like a normal human being. It's been a long time since I drew so many speed lines. I like hand-drawn speed lines. Honestly, that's actually really cool that she does draw her own speed lines. Like, just because it must be so much easier to just paste them in. And at the same time, like, pasting them in also makes them more even. So, like, there must be something really... I don't know, I didn't really notice that they were, like, hand-drawn this time around, but I might reread the chapter with that in mind. Like, I'm wondering if you can really tell, or if she's so professional that they look basically like they've been pasted in. Taiji's gone from making his own kid the happiest kid in the world to now just, like, hanging out at kids' TV shows, I guess. Man, We Never Learn is really a big crossover hit with small children, isn't it? Again, more Jujutsu Kaisen insider baseball. My nephew is about 2 years old and is super cute, but the way he moves around and acts is totally like an old man. Damn it, Hitsuji, don't you dare bone in on this precious Taishi Sutsui, like, what would you even call that? Like, his territory. His, like... his claim in Shonen Jump to all the cute kid talk. No, you're not allowed. Get out. I've now been suffering from tonsillitis and rhinitis for a month. Oh, jeez. Okay, I really hope he, like, gets that scene. I mean, I guess tonsillitis, like, I guess usually you just have it looked at and then they'd be like, okay, well, either we're gonna, like, remove your tonsils or we're gonna do something else, so let's see if it goes down by itself before we have to perform surgery, but... Actually, isn't rhinitis an inflammation of the nose? Like, isn't that just allergies then? Yeah, it is. Tonsillitis, though, like, tonsillitis is more serious, though, right? I mean, I went to school for this. I should hope that I'm not that bad at everything. I mean, I guess usually people just call that a sore throat. Like, if it's tonsillitis that goes down, as opposed to tonsillitis that is, like, bad enough that, like, you have to get your tonsils removed. Ooh, I wonder if they have the matcha frappuccino here. I really do want to, like, Canada has this chain called David's Tea, which is super nice, and I've been really into their, like, iced, like, matchas. They're super nice. Yeah, Fujimoto's downgraded from just food in general to, like, food rankings, and now he's just talking about general Starbucks. Though, I don't know, I'm into that. I was just at the airport, like, a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that their Starbucks was, like, you know, they had special things that you can only get at airport Starbucks. Like, since August, they've had the... not August. I mean, I guess so. Like, supposedly, from, like, last week of August, they've had the pumpkin spice latte just at the, I probably shouldn't be saying specific airports in case I have a stalker or something, but still. Like, I thought that was super dope. My first graphic novel go on sale on 10/4 in Japan. Now, does he mean Samurai 8, or does he mean, like, another project he's doing? I assume Samurai 8, because, like, you know, I don't think he's doing anything else right now. Also, it'd be real weird to be promoting a different series during Samurai 8, when it's not, like, you know, promoting a assistance series or something. Like, that's pretty classy. But if you were, like... it'd be real weird, for instance, if, like, Toriyama showed up and did a one-shot and then said, hey guys, go read Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball now on sale. Oh man, I've been super considering the idea of getting one of those super fancy, like, what are they called again? Like, Zorushi? The very fancy rice cookers that start with a Z. Rice cooker Z. Zojirushi, that's it. Like, they're like $100 and something, but I really want a rice cooker that doesn't burn the rice at the very bottom. Every rice cooker I've ever had has done that, and it's annoying. I don't want it. I just want a rice cooker that works. Preferably also one where you don't have to, like, scrape out the rice. I just kind of want to, you know, I want rice. I just want rice. See, this is an author comment that I feel like Fujimoto would come up with. Though, it'd be real weird if Fujimoto said this about a chapter in which there were movies, but they never named any of them. Though, honestly, that might have been, like, a really, really powerful, like, 5D chess move to just say, like, hey, the brief glimpses, like, all the movies that the character saw are real movies, even the ones where I didn't show a single, like, second of the screen. Can you guess which movies they were, just from the character's reactions? Just from Makima's, one panel each in which he was insulting the movies, can you tell which movie this year she was talking about? I actually really like that concept now. I wish he had done it. Anyways, that is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of September 20th, 2019. What a fantastic one. Actually, while we're here, let's quickly... I guess I can't do it with just a random series because I might spoil someone, but let's check the chapter schedule to see if the next jump comes out on the 29th. Okay, the 29th is actually a Sunday, so we're going back to normal. Huh. Again, I wonder why they did it 2 weeks in a row. But I'm not complaining. It was really nice to do live streams once again. I guess we'll see going forward if I'll ever get to do more if Jump doesn't come out early, because right now my schedule is very, very hardcore, like, I'm doing overtime basically every day on Mondays, sometimes extra overtime, like, extra innings level overtime, like 9 p.m. overtime, so we'll see how it goes. Also, yeah, I did hear about Spy X Family. I know the first 14 chapters are all here now. I'm split on whether I want to do them in Weekly Shonen Jump. Also, like, there's so many other things I'm doing now, or, like, things that aren't in the Weekly Shonen Jump reactions, like, there's, like, Super, there's, I haven't really been doing Vigilantes, but I kind of want to. I've been reading Platinum End, but it's awful, would not recommend it. There was something else, right? What else was I doing? Or Boruto, that's right, Boruto. I was thinking about doing, like, just a small compilation once a month that's just like, hey, here's all the monthly series, and then maybe, like, 2 chapters of Spy Family. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, I guess we'll just leave that on the back burner. Nothing else to say. Check out the weekly update for any news on the channel, but I can say right now, things are basically going to be like this. It's basically just jump every week, and hopefully I'll put out something else if I can, physically. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, where I last left off on Boruto, it was rough, but I didn't hate it, so I'm willing to keep on following it for now. Anyways, that's Jump. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh no, I forgot the hand signs. Bye for now. Nya nya. That's it. That's how I do that. That's how I end it. I know how to do it now.